the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gee and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO Newsradio.
It's time to break up with bad contractors. You know the ones. They ghost your calls, cancel on you, and leave a mess behind. Ready to settle down? Swipe right on Valentine Roofing. Our team delivers seamless communication, maintains meticulous job sites, and we stand by our work with a lifetime warranty. Valentine Roofing offers an upfront and honest approach to roofing. So, say goodbye to bad contractor relationships and hello to Valentine Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today by calling us at 206 Roofing.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS4KIDS.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. Freedom today for the last American hostage held in Gaza by Hamas. A reaction in 21-year-old Edon Alexander's hometown, Tenafly, New Jersey, when word came in. CBS's Imtiaz Tayyab.
Edon Alexander has been released from Hamas custody. He was handed over to the Red Cross. As we know, his mother and family have been carrying out this extraordinary campaign to try to release their son and the remaining hostages in Gaza. And one would imagine very soon now he will be in the arms of his family.
It's the first release of any hostage since an 8-week ceasefire collapsed back in March. CBS's Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
We have to see what his condition is when he's released, Edon Alexander. He will be taken to a military base and then on to a hospital to see how he's doing. If he's healthy enough, there has been reports that he would go to Qatar.
Qatar is where President Trump will be later this week during his Middle East trip. This morning, the president hailed the deal with China that will roll back the big tariffs imposed earlier for both sides for at least 90 days.
The talks in Geneva were very friendly. The relationship is very good. We're not looking to hurt China. China was being hurt very badly. They were closing up factories. They were having a lot of unrest.
CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
You have businesses who are very uncertain. You also have a 30% tariff that's still in place, which is going to be potentially passed down to consumers. It's not 145%. And then you think more broadly about these negotiations. We have been here before.
Under the agreement, for the next 3 months, U.S. goods in China will face a 10% tariff. Homeland Security has terminated the temporary protected status for Afghanistan. It means thousands of people who fled that country to the U.S. could be deported. President Trump signed an order today designed to lower drug prices. It gives drug makers 30 days to lower prescription costs or face new limits for what the government will pay. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says there's already been pushback from the drug-making industry.
So this is an executive order. Is this enforceable? We don't know. Last time this was contested in the federal courts. This was not successful in moving forward. And in fact, the Biden administration pulled back on it, seeing that this was not going to be able to move forward.
British police investigating a fire that damaged the door at Prime Minister Keir Starmer's house in North London. He now lives at 10 Downing Street. No one at that home was hurt. Wall Street, the Dow's up 869 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
New video of a man opening fire at sheriff's deputies. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. At the King County line, a lane is blocked on I-5 southbound. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 56 minutes, about 10 longer than usual. In Sumner, a crash is blocking 2 lanes on State Route 167 near State Route 410. You're backed up to Stewart Road. In Renton, the crash has been cleared from northbound I-405 at Northeast 44th Street. You're backed up onto 167 down to Valley Medical right now, and your travel time Renton to Bellevue is 46 minutes, about 10 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The Thurston County Sheriff's Office says newly released video shows a man firing at deputies with an AR-15 as they tried to arrest him. More from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
The gunshots recorded by a dash cam. Thurston County deputies say 27-year-old Damian Madison fired at least 15 times at deputies attempting to arrest him on felony warrants Thursday. Deputies arrested the female getaway driver. Madison escaped into nearby woods. There's now a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And we put his photo at mynorthwest.com. Call 911 if you see him. Pierce County deputies arrest 3 people wanted for robbing a man who was trying to sell an AR-15 in a Spanaway parking lot. Here's the moment deputies caught up with them.
Driver, put your hands out the window or you're going to get shot. Turn the car off. Throw the keys out the window. Do it now.
Deputies say they arrested a 22-year-old man, his 18-year-old woman driver, and 2 17-year-old boys. Drivers in Mukilteo take note. New speed cameras are now active along Mukilteo Speedway. Officers will issue warnings for the next 30 days, but if you get caught speeding after that, it'll cost you $123. The city tells the Everett Herald it's an effort to reduce crashes. 2 years after Link 2 light rail started running between Bellevue and Redmond's technology sector, light rail now runs to the Redmond Town Center and Mary Moore Village. And KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson says riders are eager for more.
The first ride
to commute, at least to downtown Bellevue,
of many to come.
I can go to Bellevue and not have to drive through all the traffic. Amazing.
The line opening, despite the bridge across Lake Washington continuing to be delayed.
Can't wait for the Seattle line to open.
Sound Transit tells me testing on that will begin soon with the goal of opening that in the Federal Way Station in 2026.
The University of Washington softball team is tournament bound again. The Seattle Times says the Huskies earned an at-large bid to the NCAA Regionals. This marks 31 straight appearances. They'll travel to Texas and play Mississippi State on Friday. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday to you. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning, G. Welcome back.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tell us how it was in Boston. Sometime throughout this show, you'll hear the stories of your impressions of Boston.
Okay. All
your
right.
son's new home. But coming up in the 9:30 segment, we're going to be talking about some big changes coming to one of the most dangerous intersections in the Seattle area. As always, the phone lines are open for you. KIRO News Radio text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I said phone lines because Friday we opened the phone lines.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Oh, nice.
We had people talking about Mother's Day.
Oh.
It was very, very sweet.
Good stuff.
But our text line is open for you. Also, YouTube.
That's
we
right.
got a little community going there.
They're showing up. Trippy and Potato Time and Brown Stevens. They're showing up. All right, let's get to it. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest.
You be the judge.
And we are going to start with a chance for you to be the judge on this story. And the question is this a simple misunderstanding or a misuse of power? That is the question surrounding an incident between Lakewood's police chief and 2 of his neighbors. The News Tribune reports that in January of 2024, Chief Patrick Smith reported that he was being harassed in the middle of the night by a woman who was shining a flashlight into his house while standing in an empty lot across the street. So police set up a special ops van to do surveillance, but after several days of staking the place out, investigators say they didn't see anything. And then a few months later, Chief Smith called again and said someone had come to the side of his house and shined a light into the first story and then the second story. And this time, an officer went over to the house across the street, talked to a couple who denied going to anyone's house and shining a flashlight into their homes.
Because they're very adamant, the people that said this, that it's this house, because they pointed directly at the one with the lights on the deck and everything like that, and said it's been going on for months. That you've been going into people's yards and shining flashlights and then like standing there staring at them. So this is what I'm trying to figure out here.
The only time I walked outside with a flashlight was to walk her, and I walked her right across the street.
So you're not going in shining lights into people's houses?
Okay, so her explanation, G, is that she works at 5 a.m. She has a routine of walking her dog with a flashlight a few hours before work. And she says she told the News Tribune that she was shocked when the cop came to her door and says she had no idea that the police chief even lived in the same neighborhood, much less that he was the one who called the cops on her. She wishes the chief would have talked to her about his concerns instead of treating her like a suspected criminal. And for his part, Chief Smith says he was worried that someone could be trying to burglarize his home, and he didn't know if, as police chief, he was being targeted because he said this was happening numerous times. And he said he would have accepted it as a reasonable explanation if he hadn't watched a person who would come within 5 feet of his window. And he said he came to the front door, he saw the person run across the street and back into their home.
Mm-hmm. So you said you be the judge.
Yeah, you be the judge. Is this a simple misunderstanding, or is this a misuse of power, or what are your thoughts on this? And text us 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO.
Okay, time out. I need you to do me a favor.
Yes.
If we're gonna do you be the judge,
yes,
I need you to add in a little detail that's in that story that needs to be talked about.
Okay. Well, so well, there's a couple of things. So there's a little more detail. So again, all of this is in the News Tribune. There's more detail about both sides.
No.
Okay.
Get ready, y'all, because here comes a detail.
So the couple, so the male of the couple is a registered sex offender, and he has
first-degree child rape.
For first-degree child rape, and he said that he watches all his P's and Q's because the last thing he wants to do is direct any attention to him. So that was one of the things that he said. We're not going to be peeking into anyone's houses knowing that I have a criminal record. In fact, it's really hard to hear, so I'm not going to play the audio, but he mentioned that to the cop who came to the door and said, you know my history. I'm not going to be doing something that's going to basically shine a flashlight on him, so to speak. The other thing that is brought up, so again, this is in the News Tribune. I thought it was interesting that they brought up that Chief Smith was hired in March of 2023. He's got more than 30 years of law enforcement experience, but they made sure to point out that his resignation came after he got a no vote of confidence, and that et cetera, et cetera. So each of them has a little something in their background, but yes, the fact that I know that detail about the guy, stood out to you.
Stood out. So you ask, you be the judge. I'm going to be the judge and give you two of my findings. I'm going to keep it simple. Number one, I am on the Chiefs' side, and it's not even close. My man said, and he told the state manager, it was the city manager, like, hey, somebody's been flashing a light in my house. They came within 5 feet of my home. Yes. So I don't know what's going on. Let's get the place checked out. Guess what? I'm cool with that, right? Come to find out, there's somebody at 5-something in the morning is with a flashlight. And, oh, by the way, come to find out, that is the wife of a sex offender that's in your area that was convicted of child rape in 2006. Now, even though I don't know, those don't have anything to do with each other, I'm on the sheriff's side. And then the next thing I want to say, I don't even know how this even became a story.
Well,
this shouldn't even became a story.
That's the question.
Because I know people just thought that G was going to hear this story and just automatically go against the chief. No, I'm not. And as a matter of fact, this is a waste of Gee and Ursula Show time. We could be talking about something more important.
Okay, what did I say coming into the show?
You did say that.
What did I say? I said, man, this sounds like it's unfortunate that the chief did not go to the neighbors, if this in fact is true. But I would be suspicious too if flashlights are shining into my home. And he reported it, and I think a big thing was made out of the fact that they did a surveillance van, and it was out there for a couple of days. That wasn't something that the chief said to do. That was actually, it was on the officer's discretion. Again, maybe someone else knows more details, but I'm with you. I think it is a big fat nothing burger, and it's unfortunate that they just didn't talk. And I'm just going to say this. It's also unfortunate that just neighbors in period don't talk more. Where people are just... No, wait, you're about to say something.
No, because... Okay, all right. Time out for a second. So let me tell you guys what's going on. So in 4th of July of last year... 4th of July of last year, I had talked to my neighbor next door, older lady, and I told her, hey, we're going to be doing some fireworks and all that kind of stuff. Like, oh, okay, no problem. And so it was happening last year on the 4th, the fireworks, and at like 9:30 or whatever, she comes out of the house and she starts tripping. Like, get out, get away from me. And I was upset by that. As a matter of fact, I've still been upset by that. So you just talked about talking to your neighbor.
And the chief should have talked to the neighbors.
Right. Well, the other day when I was sitting here on the show, I told you guys in a break there was an ambulance in my neighborhood, in my cul-de-sac. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Well, one of my neighbors told me it was for my next door neighbor. I'm like, oh, man, hope she's okay. I was kind of saying that. Yesterday, I was out in my yard, and I saw her come outside. And when she came outside, I didn't want to even see her face. I'm still mad about the 4th of July. I walked in the house. Leaving the house this morning, at 4-something in the morning, the ambulance was back at her house, and she's widowed, and she lives by herself. Aww. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was driving this morning, and I was saying to myself, you know, G, at some point in your life, you got to quit being so petty. I'm serious. So when you just talked about talking to your neighbor, that's what stuck me. You like punched me in my chest with that. I hate to bring that up, but that's been on my mind.
I know. So you know what?
Man.
Well, maybe you can bring her one of Lillian's loaf cakes.
I know. I got
build a bridge.
And just yesterday, around 6-something in the evening, I saw her, and I'm V-line in the garage. I don't want to see her face because I'm still mad about the 4th. And then they were here at 4-something this morning with the ambulance. And somebody says, "Gee," somebody says, "Gee, is she Korean?" Yes, Ajima. Yeah, she's Korean. Yes.
Okay. So remember I told you about the time when my neighbor, some neighbor, I don't know who still, but I have a suspicion, called the police. I mean, the stretched out Seattle Police Department, I had an officer come to my door and tell me that my car in front of our house was parked in the wrong direction. We were parked vertically instead of horizontally because we live in a cul-de-sac. I mean, someone had called it, like, why couldn't, and that's how we've been parking forever. Yeah. Why couldn't someone have just come up and said, excuse me, hey, it's really, a pain, it's bothering, or whatever, but why call the police? Anyway, okay, text us. Yeah. We want to hear what you think. 888-973-5476, 888-973, KIRO. President Trump is going to be flying to the Middle East to meet with in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar to talk about investments in the U.S. And ABC News is reporting that the royal family of Qatar is reportedly thinking about giving the president a $400 million jumbo jet to be used as Air Force One. This morning at the White House, President Trump defended his position on potentially receiving that gift.
If we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department, to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones. I think that was a very nice gesture.
Now, there are some new developments because according to Qatar, this is not quite a done deal just yet, but President Trump thinks it is, and he doesn't know why anyone would criticize him for it. On his social media platform, he posted, and this is mostly a quote, the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily. He says in a very public and transparent transaction, but it bothers, quote, the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Think there's an issue? Anyone?
No, I'm.
Oh, there is an issue.
Okay, yeah, no, I need you to help me out. What's the issue here? Because if they're able to take the plane, I'm sure it's like anything, right? Like, hey, I'm going to give you this, and usually when you get a gift, you're going to have to do something and pay for something in return.
Yeah, what's in it for Qatar to give the president of the United States a plane to use, a plane that's worth $400 million? By the way, in the Constitution's emoluments clause, that prohibits anyone holding government office from accepting any present, emolument, office, or title from any king, prince, or foreign state without congressional consent. So that would be the first one. First thing that he would have to overcome. Secondly, the Trump Organization, which is actually mostly run by his sons now, Donald and Eric, they have huge interests in the Middle East, including a new deal to build a luxury golf resort in Qatar, partnering with a real estate company in Qatar backed by that country's wealth fund. So again, if you want to know, is there a problem? I mean, it looks like a great deal, and if you might say, hey, if the Air Force can save money, why not? But there's an attachment.
Do you think that Trump's administration is more susceptible for bribes and stuff like that?
I fear it is. I mean, I think any government, whether it's Biden in office, Clinton in office, anyone in office, we should be looking with a side eye and wondering whether this is a violation of the Constitution and what's in it. What is Qatar going to want by doing this?
Can't we just call this what it is naked corruption?
It is corruption.
I mean, he has a meme coin, crypto coin, that he launched the day before the inauguration. To date, he's received $2.9 billion from that. That's not a campaign chest. That's his war chest. And he's auctioning off dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Hey, the top 200 bidders, the top 200 people that buy my coin get to come sit down with me. That is naked bribery and corruption, period.
And I want to know from all of you listening right now, and we're trying to minimize as much Trump talk as we can. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO, with this story of the possibility of having Air Force One provided by Qatar. What are your thoughts on that? The other thing is, I think it's kind of a slap in the face for Boeing. I mean, it is a Boeing plane. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a Boeing plane, first of all. But right now, Air Force One is a modified Boeing 747, and there's actually two of them. I'm
trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel here.
The light?
Is this maybe a gift? Maybe. Well, is this a gift for the United States of America? Or do you guys look at it, hey, man, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Or is this more of a gift for Donald Trump? Who's the gift for?
Well, it's just for the use. So we don't have it may not even happen at this point. But right now he's already accepted the idea that, hey, if Qatar does offer it, that he's going to take it. Mm-hmm. And he thinks there's good reason. So I'd love to hear from you. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Okay. Oh, wait. That's the wrong sound. We need to be talking about the Mariners, because I wish we could start the week with some good news about your Seattle Mariners, but they unfortunately were swept this weekend by the Toronto Blue Jays.
I mean, it's frustrating. I think we've played so well, and wanted to show the home fans that we were excited to be back home. But it was a tough series, and again, we got a lot more baseball ahead of us, and we got another series starting tomorrow, and we'll be ready to go.
That is manager Dan Wilson, of course. Yesterday's 9-1 loss dropped the M's to 22-17 overall. And Seattle is still entering tonight's game against the Yankees in first place in the AL West. But what a bummer of a way to end what has been just a stellar month.
Yeah, it was a bummer. Spent Mother's Day in T-Mobile Park yesterday. Beautiful day, Sunday. And here's what stood out to me. Number one, the Toronto Blue Jays and their bats were just on fire. I mean, the Springer home run that he hit, oh my goodness, it felt and seemed like an explosion. But too, Ursula, the next thing that really stood out to me was You know, the Mariners are just coming off a 9 series in a row win. 9 series. And I was a little disappointed yesterday. I want to see more people at T-Mobile Ballpark. And there was something in my heart that just feels like there's a lot of people that just want to, okay, let me just wait and see what's going on.
Could it be that there just weren't as many Toronto Blue Jays fans as normal?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure it's a little bit of both. Because they were there, for sure. You can see that. But I'm sure, because it's been talked about how Canadians aren't coming across the border after being told that they want to.
But you don't think the M's fans are rabid enough given how great their season has been going up until this weekend? You think they need to be more passionate?
Nick, can you help me understand what's going on? Like, is there, like, people want to see more?
I think they're just holding their tongue right now just to wait and see because of last year, you know.
Oh.
Because last year they were 10 games up.
Yeah.
In the
it's like
division.
they want to see if this is, you know, contenders or pretenders at this point.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Man, 9 series wins in a row. Hadn't been done since 2003. Hey, coming up at 9:47, we want to hear from you. How was your Mother's Day? We'll be talking about that. But up next, at last, long last, South Seattle celebrates a crown jewel in the neighborhood. We discuss next. Gee Ursula.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What a morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Are you in the market for a new car? I'm going to guess that you might want to do it quickly because of everything that is going on that you hear on a daily basis. And right now, you need to go with a dealership that you can trust. And for our family, that has been Carter Subaru. We are repeat customers for a reason. They are the best, and they are going to make sure that they walk you through every step of the process, and you are going to be pleased with what you end up buying. They're not going to be doing any sort of strong arm tactics or force you to buy something that you don't want or cannot afford. Carter Subaru is a family-owned business, and they just don't deal with those high-pressure sales tactics that can force you into buying something more than you need. We love working with them, and it is why our family is going to always be a repeat customer at Carter Subaru. And right now, you can get the 2025 Forester with 3.9% financing for 48 months on approved credit. Shop with the Carter Subaru Advantage, and you can enjoy valet parking at their Ballard dealership and at-home delivery across all locations.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 5/31/25.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
Up play. Air Williamson reels it in.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch and a 2-2 on the way to Young. It is strike 3 called and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Be here for this week's Mariners marquee matchup. Cal Raleigh and the crew are squaring off against Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees tonight and tomorrow at 6:40 and Wednesday afternoon at 1:10. Don't miss out. Go to mariners.com/tickets to lock in your seats for this AL East showdown at T-Mobile Park.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home.
They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If you want a dream bathroom without a humongous price tag, now's the time to call Bathfitter Northwest. Ursula Reutin here. I picked Bathfitter because they are the original one-day bath remodeler. They're a local, family-owned business that's been around for 40 years. They own every step in the process to make sure you get the best quality product and the best value. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Why would you choose anyone else? Call Bathfitter today.
Whatever temperatures this summer brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training, and skills are backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. So whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new cooling system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. For a dealer near you, visit BryantNorthwest.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after turning 40, I noticed my libido just wasn't what it used to be. That's when I reached out to Revive Health. Their team knew exactly what I needed, which is why today, my wife and I are both more satisfied than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy for info on how opt-in info will be used. And terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Divers have found the body of a fishing boat captain who went down with the ship near Grays Harbor Friday morning. Crews say the 68-foot Captain Raleigh was taking on water near the harbor entrance. The Coast Guard and a Good Samaritan were able to pull 3 crew members from the water. More than 150 aircraft fuelers at SeaTac Airport are being urged to vote yes on a new contract offer Tuesday. They had threatened to strike. Their company and the Teamsters Union agreed to the deal after negotiating for hours.
Meantime, over the weekend, more than 100 other union workers, including ramp and wheelchair agents and plane cabin cleaners, rallied at the airport's International Boulevard entrance calling for changes to their union contract. They are represented by the Service Employees International Union and are asking for more pay, better health care, and protections for immigrant workers. Tom Brock, KIRO News Radio.
The last surviving American hostage being held by Hamas has been released and handed over to the Red Cross. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb says Israeli-American Idon Alexander had been held in Gaza since the October 7th attack.
His mother and family have been carrying out this extraordinary campaign to try to release their son and the remaining hostages in Gaza. And one would imagine very soon now He will be in the arms of his family.
Sources say the royal family of Qatar is preparing to give President Trump a Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet as a gift. President Trump on why he would accept it.
And I think it was a gesture because of the fact that we have helped and continue to. We will continue to. All of those countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and others, we keep them safe. If it wasn't for us, they probably wouldn't exist right now. And I think this was just a gesture of good faith.
Trump is set to fly to the Middle East to meet with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE about investments in the U.S. All three major stocks indexes opened higher on news that the U.S. and China are significantly reducing their tariffs for 90 days after weekend negotiations in Switzerland. CBS's Javier David.
The apocalypse has been postponed, but maybe not canceled just yet. Lots of caveats built into this. It's temporary. It's a 90-day pause. We could easily find ourselves back at square one. It's happened before. It could happen again.
The 145% tariff on Chinese goods brought to the U.S. will drop to 30%. China's tax on U.S. imports will drop down to 10%. Right now, the Dow up 947 points. NASDAQ ahead 674. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk at the King Pierce County line, all lanes have reopened on I-5 southbound. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 53 minutes. Still about 10 longer than typical. In Sumner, the crash has been cleared from State Route 167 near State Route 410. Your backup is clearing out nicely. In Seattle, a lane is blocked on I-5 northbound to Dearborn, and you have a lane blocked on I-90 westbound at State Route 18. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday to all of you. And Gee, our text line is really hot right now. And you know what people are really hot about?
What?
The Air Force One story.
I know.
They are really, yes, they are.
Did I miss the mark on this? Should I be more upset about this?
I think because you're not upset enough. I think people are making up for it because they're very, very upset. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
I guess there's no shock in the story for me.
I gotcha. Okay, so we're calling an audible here because we want to talk about AI, which is just seemingly everywhere in our lives. And if you've had to wait to get an X-ray or an MRI, those waits could be shortened thanks to artificial intelligence. Right now, you've probably figured out that there is an increased demand for medical imaging because we're all living longer. And because of our aging population and a shrinking workforce of radiologists, there is this increased demand. KIRO 7 TV is reporting that some University of Washington researchers are hoping to curb that demand by automating radiology equipment. They spoke with Dr. Dushyant Sahani with the School of Medicine, and the doctor says there's evidence that by extracting detailed data from CT images, radiologists could potentially predict a patient's risk of future health events and chronic conditions. And I think, because we were talking last week about AI, and I think there's this big fear that it's just going to take over so many jobs.
Right.
Now, I see a story like that, and I say, that's great news.
Yeah. I think it is great news. I kind of, because I can still see this still taking away jobs. So, for an example, let's just say, let's keep it simple. Let's say you have 10 people in the radiology department. Let's just say you have 10. And then you have AI doing a lot of the work and being able to help these radiologists don't get burnt out, which is a good thing, right? If you continue on with the AI, Ursula, how long will you need 10 radiologists in that department if you continue using the AI?
Well, one of the things that they're saying is that it would free them up because right now so much of their stuff is administrative. So much of their work is things that really could be done much more efficiently with AI to allow them to be on the cutting edge and not to have that burnout, but to be on the cutting edge of whether it is technology, whether it is determining someone's potential for a heart attack or cancer or whatever it is in the future because of these images. I just find that incredibly fascinating. Yeah. And the potential being endless.
Yeah, I think it's great, but the one thing we still need to make sure that we understand about how AI and how it works, it's going to start one way, this way. For the next 10 years, it's not going to be this way.
Yes.
As you go on using this, more and more you will be able to eliminate the radiologist. So instead of 10 in 2026, you go in with 8 because you're using AI. And in 2027, you go in with 5 because now AI is 2 to 3 years smarter.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm still looking at it as a mostly good news story, but here's another artificial intelligence story for you. The CEO of Shopify is telling managers that they cannot hire any new employees unless they prove that the job cannot be done by AI. So the CEO's name is Toby Lutke, and he says there is a fundamental expectation across Shopify that employees embrace AI in their daily work. And he says it has been a multiplier of productivity for those who have used it. So now this lends itself to, your concerns about how this could be one of those things where a lot of jobs are eliminated.
I think that if we are being honest, we understand why these companies like Shopify comes out and makes a move like that. Because this company is thinking about the future. They're thinking about in 5 years, they still want to be around. Like, it really blows my mind. Not that this has anything to do with AI or anything, but it blows my mind that Skype isn't a thing. Like, right? It blows my mind still when I'm in the parking lot the other day down on Puyallup and the Macy's is closed. It blows my mind still that Sears is not the top store anywhere. My point is you have companies that are concerned with there is a change in how we do things. There's a change in how we buy things. You and I are always going back and forth on how you go to brick and mortars. You try your best to. I tell you, I don't have the time to go to brick and mortars. We talk about those things. But where are these companies that are going to be in 5 years? And in order to be here in 5 years, you have the CEOs of Shopify that says to their employees, hey, don't hire anybody else until you figure out that job can't be done by AI.
Well, here's the thing. And Shopify basically has put in millions and millions of dollars into AI tools like many other companies. And they're doing it and looking for cost savings elsewhere. And one of the things that I'm seeing in this story, actually layoffs.fyi is saying that in 2024, so last year, there were about 152,000 jobs eliminated across 500 or so tech companies. I mean, even Shopify's headcount fell.
I want to share this, Ursula. And so as you're telling us and explaining the story, I'll tell you what goes through my mind. Chef here plays around with AI probably more than anybody in this building. Chef does things here with AI. And you guys know he has a full-time job. This is not, he's not an AI. This is not what he does. He's a producer on the show and all those things.
Yep.
But he has shown you and I things that he has been able to do, just a little bit of fun. If Chef can do that here, how about the people that are like, hey, you know what? I just want you focused full-time on AI. Imagine if Chef, that was his full-time job. That's all he did was AI.
But here's what I love is you have to have someone who understands how to do the input.
Yeah, it takes a ton of training. But I'm not joking when I say I could probably automate my position in about a year. Aside from talking on the air.
Yeah. No, I know. I know.
It's scary.
And then what? Okay, I just want to hear because we've been doing a lot of talk about AI, and I'm just curious about those of you listening right now. How do you feel about it? I mean, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I'm curious because I'm going to guess that there's some people who've never even used ChatGPT. And if you haven't, play around with it because it's kind of fun.
I think there's different areas that makes us all, when we say that it's good, but where we have our fear. So here's one area that I have fear for. I have fear for our kids, our young generation that's coming up, that they will never have to go and research and have to go to the library and actually have to work to go get that information. Now you can have ChatGPT. Hey, that term paper is due in 3 months. You can have ChatGPT give you an outline, set it all up for you, give you the thesis statement, so that kid does not have to work towards that anymore.
But I think even today there are things like that available that schools have been able to figure out and teachers have been able to figure out if you're getting a lot of help even with that essay. I mean, you're looking at me like...
How? I mean, I get it all done, get the rundown, and I get to do my thing.
No,
I can...
If you're a direct copy paster from your ChatGPT profile, you might get caught. But if you're smart and you know how to rework things...
Okay, do a little bit of...
Yeah.
But it does 90% of your work. Yeah. And then 10%, all you got to do is take this out and make it your way. Coming up next, more of the Gee Ursula Show.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because...
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
It's time to break up with bad contractors. You know the ones. They ghost your calls, cancel on you, and leave a mess behind. Ready to settle down? Swipe right on Valentine Roofing. Our team delivers seamless communication, maintains meticulous job sites, and we stand by our work with a lifetime warranty. Valentine Roofing offers an upfront and honest approach to roofing. So, say goodbye to bad contractor relationships and hello to Valentine Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today by calling us at 206 Roofing.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush. Act now before summer, because that heat's a real bummer.
Dayandnight.net.
This is the time to plan ahead, so you stay cool this summer. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Now save $50 off our pre-summer AC tune-up.
Dayandnight.net.
Okay, so you step into your tub and you're like, this is disgusting. This is gross. No matter how hard I clean, I cannot get it clean enough. If you have said that and each and every day you're saying, I need to get this bathroom updated, now is the time to call my friends at Bathfitter. Why Bathfitter? Well, I'll tell you because I've done the research for you, and Bathfitter is simply the best. At Bathfitter, they're going to handle the entire process from start to finish. They will design your bath. They will manufacture the materials. They install your bath themselves. They are not relying on subcontractors. You're only going to be working with highly trained, trusted Bathfitter employees who have been creating beautiful dream bathrooms for so many years. We had our bathroom installed by Bathfitter. The designer came over to our house. She helped me pick out everything from the type of wall, the exact tub, the fixtures, door style, colors. There are a lot of choices, and it all came together so beautifully, and we were thrilled with the end result. And it was done in less than a day. Bathfitter's quality is truly unmatched. They have more than 40 years experience and more than 2 million happy customers. And right now they are offering 0% interest for 24 months. So now truly is the perfect time to get that new dream bath. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date. Your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected. Your floor mats are cleaned and delivered. And your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Announcing the newest, most beautiful senior living community around. It's the grand opening of Vineyard Park at North Creek Bothell, a Care Partners senior living community. Amanda here. Discover vibrant, independent, assisted living and memory care where seniors thrive with top-notch care, engaging activities, and a warm, welcoming environment. Visit carepartnersliving.com now to schedule a visit and be one of the first to call Vineyard Park at North Creek home. The grand opening of Vineyard Park at North Creek Bothell going on now. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
G. Scott here with some special guests, former Seahawks Doug Baldwin and Cliff Averill. Guys, I've been hearing all about Nourishing Champions. Tell us more about it.
So we know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers to that access. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. And so Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
You know, it's extremely important. You don't realize how many students actually are on reduced or even free lunch, and they don't have the opportunity to actually get a meal before practice, before a game. So being able to provide food for them, I think, is extremely important to give them the best opportunity to be able to be the best version of themselves.
And right now, high schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn how at championsofchangefoundation.org. That's championsofchangefoundation.org. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, everybody. How was your Mother's Day? Was it good? Was it great? In a second, I'll tell you guys the biggest flex about my day yesterday. Oh, my goodness. It was fantastic. But the question is Mother's Day social media post, did you see that they were heartfelt sharing? Or was it humble bragging? Did you see a lot of that? And I'll go first, Ursula. I'll tell you this. Over the years, I've always been like, oh, my goodness, here's the humble brag. They show all the boxes, the Louis Vuitton, all the good stuff. I actually saw a lot of heartfelt sharing on Mother's Day yesterday. A lot of it. Maybe my algorithm is different than others, but it was really a lot of that.
I did too, and I saw a lot of people remembering, and it's probably because of my age range now, where people are remembering their mom who either passed recently or just a lot of people remembering loved ones gone, and specifically mothers or grandmothers. Right. And I love reading those posts. Right. Those are the things that I love finding out more about people from their history, from their parents, their relationships, their memories, all that. And I love that. And I really didn't see a whole lot of bragging about anything. I briefly considered posting something because, it's rare. It's the first Mother's Day in many years that I've had both boys home. And so we went to brunch at Ivers there on Lake Union. Yeah. And normally we don't call in time to get in because those things are booked out months in advance, but this time we did get in. We were able to get in just afternoon. Nice. I'm telling you, there was a heap of there was just so much food. It was overwhelming. But the thing I loved the best was just to see all the families together and then having my family together, all of us intact. It was just the best Mother's Day.
Now it's time for me to brag. Yeah, this ain't a humble brag. Yes. This is an all the way
brag.
Oh yeah, this is all out brag. Okay, as you all know, I flew out to Boston. Yes. By the way, that is a long flight, 5.5-hour flight.
Yes.
Flew out there. I was there really quick. The night before, I knew that on Sunday, my plane would leave at 7 a.m. So that means in Boston, I had to make sure I was up 4 o'clock, everything. So I made sure the night before, I drank my water. I got my sleep, right?
Good.
Ursula, I get on that plane. I'm there in time. Fly. Here. Soon as I land into SEA, 10 o'clock a.m. yesterday, get to my car, drive down to Tacoma, change my stuff, get in my Mariner stuff. Happy Mother's Day to Lillian. Let's go to T-Mobile Ballpark. We go there. We're at the game, watched the game there. Then afterwards, I had dinner reservations at Lady J over in West Seattle. By the way, I had
Look at you.
I had a fried bologna sandwich at this place. Yeah.
It was incredible. Brought me back to my childhood.
So what kind of food? I mean,
Lady J.
fried
They got filet mignon, brisket. Okay. I mean, this place in West Seattle off of California is incredible. So then, and we had Lillian's son with us, and then we took him back home, and then we're driving home. And now it's getting closer to 6 o'clock. We're driving. Now, mind you, we've been in Seattle all day. Now we're going back home to Tacoma. And she's in the passenger seat, and she goes, "Oh, I'm tired." To which I said, "Yes." I didn't say that. Not one time did I say I was tired. I was full of energy and everything. Because the old me would have came back, right? Excuse to be like, okay,
God,
I'm tired.
Yes.
Hey, let's just go to the Marriott game.
You made it about her. Yeah. You planned it. Okay, I am going to give you so much credit. On top of that, you wrote something beautiful. You professed your love for Lillian on social media. Mm-hmm. You wrote something beautiful. Was that heartfelt or, I mean, that was heartfelt, of course.
Okay.
But did you get help from AI or no?
No help from AI.
That was beautiful.
No help from AI. Now, you know what? I got to tell you, if I did AI for those things, I think that's cheating.
I used AI for Mother's Day.
Oh, there you go. How did you use it?
Yeah. So I wrote up a message, right, for my mom and for Gabby's mom. And then I just said, here, can you make this into a card with a nice floral design and XYZ flourishes, 5x7 cardstock size, and, printed out really nice cards.
This dude, Chef, and AI is crazy. I told y'all. I told y'all. Yeah. But yeah, I got to tell you, I was really proud of myself, Ursula. So that's my brag. I know Mother's Day isn't about me. It's about Lillian. But at the end of the day, it was about me and the fact that I didn't say I was tired one time. I didn't say, I just was going.
I'm just going to brag on behalf of my husband and my sons and just say that they made me feel really special.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
They did. That's cool. And happy Mother's Day to everyone. By the way, if yesterday was a rough day for you, my heart and prayers goes out to you for sure. All right. I got this staple like Paul would do it here on these sheets. Coming up next, find out how Seattle friends reinforce their bonds with joint home ownership. Next, Gee Ursula.
White smoke above the Sistine Chapel.
History is happening.
Habemus Papam. We have a pope.
The first American pope to lead the Roman Catholic Church.
Local coverage of the biggest stories at home and around the world.
Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago. He is taking the name of Pope Leo XIV.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the KIRO Newsradio app, and read the latest at mynorthwest.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ooh, ma. What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. A hometown erupts. Large gathering in Tenafly, New Jersey, greeting the news that the last living American hostage held by Hamas in Gaza has been freed. 21-year-old Edan Alexander handed over to the Red Cross. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb.
His mother and family have been carrying out this extraordinary campaign to try to release their son and the remaining hostages in Gaza. And one would imagine very soon now he will be in the arms of his family.
Alexander's father spoke with CBS News last fall about his soldier son.
We know he's a tough kid. He's a tall, tough kid. He's a swimmer. And we hope he's holding up.
And President Trump has signed an order giving drug makers 30 days to lower prescription prices. It's part of a plan to put prices here on a par with sharply lower costs overseas.
Our country has the highest drug prices anywhere in the world by sometimes a factor of 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It's not like they're slightly higher. They're 6, 7, 8 times. There are even cases of 10 times higher.
Drug makers say it's a bad plan and will likely mount a court challenge. President Trump also hailing the deal that will slash tariffs for 90 days with China as talks for a broader solution take place.
The relationship is very, very good. I'll speak to President Xi maybe at the end of the week. We have some other things we're doing.
CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns.
At West Coast ports, traffic there had really diminished, had dropped off significantly over the past few weeks. So I think a lot of U.S. companies will likely be cheering this, but also wondering what exactly these negotiations will look like. And still there are questions about how you plan in this environment.
Overseas, an invitation from Ukraine's President Zelensky for a meeting with Vladimir Putin to end the war.
I will be in Turkey this Thursday, May 15th, and I will be waiting for Putin there, personally. And I hope that this time Putin will not look for reasons why he cannot do something.
Well, the new pope faced an audience of thousands of reporters today.
A standing ovation for Pope Leo XIV holding his first audience for the world's press, thanking them, but adding applause at the beginning doesn't necessarily mean much.
If you're still awake at the end and you still want to applaud, thank you very much.
The Pope calling for the release of imprisoned journalists and affirming, quote, the precious gift of free speech and the press. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up just over 1,000 points. The S&P is up 166. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Increasing crimes involving kids and guns. That's one of the stories coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, state troopers say 4,000 pounds of hog feed have spilled, blocking a lane on I-90 westbound at State Route 18. Not causing a huge backup there, but you also have construction on 18 that has you slowed from Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. In Federal Way, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound at South 320th Street. And in Seattle, a lane is blocked on I-5 northbound at Dearborn. Travel time, Federal Way to Seattle, running a few minutes slower than typical. Earlier issues have you going slow from Renton to Bellevue. Travel time 43 minutes, about 17 longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Discover one of the new inventions in home comfort with mini split systems. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The Thurston County Sheriff's Office says newly released video shows a man firing at deputies with an AR-15 as they try to arrest him on outstanding warrants. Deputies say the gunman, 27-year-old Damian Madison, has been on the run since Thursday. Sheriff Derek Sanders says he may have already stolen a car and left the area, but he's also a prolific burglar and could be hiding out in someone's shed, barn, or an empty house. We put his photo at mynorthwest.com. If you see him, call 911. There's newly released video of Pierce County deputies arresting 4 people accused of robbing a man in Spanaway who was trying to sell his gun.
This was Pierce County deputies making a felony stop just a couple of hours after the alleged robbery.
Driver, put your hands out the window or you're going to get shot.
Deputies say 4 suspects robbed the victim in a Safeway parking lot off Pacific Avenue South in April, taking an AR-15 and a handgun. A couple hours later, they arrested a 22-year-old man, 2 17-year-old boys, and the 18-year-old female driver. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
More teenagers are getting involved in crimes with guns. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker with more on that.
According to King County gun violence data, since 2017, 58 teenagers aged 11 to 17 were killed in gun violence in King County alone. The trigger's often pulled by other teens, and those numbers are much higher than the 10-year span before that.
Link 2 Light Rail started running to the Redmond Town Center and Marymore Village over the weekend. KIRO 7 TV found these riders on the initial run.
I've been looking forward to this line opening.
Very excited, yes. I look forward to this.
When the entire 14-mile East Link extension is finally completed, it'll include 10 stops from Seattle's International District across I-90 to Mercer Island, South Bellevue, downtown Bellevue, and the Bell Red area, and then go on to Redmond. Blue Oyster Cult will be doing the Puyallup.
All of times have come.
The Washington State Fair says the band will open for Bachman Turner Overdrive September 17th. Tickets on sale this Friday. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s at 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is the Gee and Ursula Show. What is today's date?
It is the 12th.
All right, cool. May 12th.
We are almost halfway through the month of May.
Happy Monday.
Do you ever get that panic? Okay, maybe this is just me, but I think, okay, wait a minute. It's May 12th. When is swimsuit weather? And how many weeks do I have until swimsuit weather? Is that just me? Okay, text us 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO.
Let me go ahead and speak for the people out here that it don't matter what weather it is, I'm still wearing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's, we go to the pool, I'm wearing shorts and some T-shirts. Some people take it off more than that, then you're concerned about
I gotcha.
bathing suit weather. Like
gotcha.
Chef, you're not
It's
wearing
ridiculous.
a Speedo, are you?
Oh my Lord, no! It regardless of the weather, it's not swimsuit weather for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Hey, coming up at 10:30, there was a statistic that really had me worried over the weekend. Only 1 in 10 boomers can afford this. And we'll talk about that coming up at 10:30. As always, we invite you to join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. The number one issue on your minds this morning is
the plane.
Air Force One plane. And the possibility that it could be gifted, at least temporarily, to President Trump.
Here's what I believe in my heart, Ursula. I told you before coming on the show, this plane thing is just not a big deal to me. And I'd argue that most people don't care about this plane topic.
Well, I'm going to say that many people do. Even people who voted for him are saying this is an issue. So if you want to weigh in, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. But let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
In a city where buying a home can feel like chasing a unicorn with a checkbook, more Seattleites are saying, hey, let's go in on this together, this big purchase. So what we're talking about right now is fractional home ownership, which I'd never heard of until right now. And that's when friends get together, they pool all their money, they'll buy a house as co-owners, and then split everything from the down payment to the dishes in the sink. So according to the Seattle Times, you can read this there, it is part financial strategy, part social experiment, and apparently it is becoming popular. So we talk about it all the time. We are dealing with record home prices. We just talked about it last week. Interest rates still going up, stagnant wages. Some people are just skipping the whole marriage and mortgage route, and they're buying with friends instead. And so I was just curious if you were in a different time in your life, would this be something that you would consider? Or do you think it's a good idea?
I would still consider it, even at this point of my life. I think that this is a great idea. And Ursula, when you were talking about that, you know the first thing I thought of? I was thinking about really just how important your circle of friends are. You know the saying, show me who your friends are, and I'll show you where you're going. And I bring that up is because in my 20s and in up to my 30s, when I wasn't married, I had a group of friends that we were awesome. But you know what our goal was every day?
What's that? Have a good time.
Every week? To have a good time. Yeah. What place we're going to go to, what clothes we're going to buy, what club we're going to do. We're going to get VIP here. We spent, listen, y'all, I spent about 15 some odd years of my life with that being a focus. No wonder I lived in my car for a second. No wonder I turned into living in my car because of the decisions I made. Anyway, I don't want to make it a long story, but if you got a group of friends and your concern is hey, let's do this house thing. Let's get proper representation. We could do this together. It's better than people like me in my 20s and 30s spending their time doing dumb stuff. Sometimes you got a group of friends that talk about yard work.
Like you've been doing it a lot lately.
You wouldn't do this?
No. I can understand why it's becoming more popular because of how much houses cost these days. And I know that for many people who rent, they think, God, my money is just going out the window and I'm getting nothing from it. And at least I'm putting it into something that and enjoying a place. It's almost to some degree a little bit like they said, social experiment. Hey, let's see if we can do this. And then I can at least maybe get most of my money back out when I want to get out of it. The reason I would be concerned is you would have to have the best legal representation and you would have to go in not willy-nilly and, just winging it on a song and a prayer. You'd need to have it really spelled out, really because again, it's all great until one thing goes wrong, and then one person wants to back out, and then what happens to that? It breaks it up.
You're right about the representation, and you're right about how your ducks have to be in a row. But we'll go do roommates with 2 or 3 other people with hardly no plan or idea. We'll do roommates and rent a house, and you all know how sometimes the roommate situation can turn bad. In this case, you just protect yourself, each other. Let's protect our friendship. Let's put it all in writing. If there's an out this way, buddy, if you get married, this, that, put it all in writing, then you're good. I think if you are the Knicks of the world and you got some partners to do that, I think this is fantastic.
Okay, well, I think Nick is the perfect person to ask about this because you've talked about feeling like home ownership is something that is just not going to be in your near future. Would this be something that would interest you?
Yeah, I think if you can find people that can work together to find that common goal, I think you can have that established ground where, if you can find a place and the common people that have the responsible mindset, you can divvy up whatever it appreciates down the line. So, I think it's a smart move in this kind of climate.
So Ursula, let's just take a simple house. And by the way, I would love for our real estate friends to text us that listen to the show and give us some professional advice on this topic. But Ursula, if you have a house and you all qualify and the mortgage is going to be $5,000 a month and it's divvied up between 3 people, why would you not do that?
What's your exit plan, man? Because anyone that needs to buy a house with someone else does not have the money to buy out one of the other partners. And so you're going to have house sharing exit team companies that will, promise to get you out of your shared home. It takes 6 years before you pay off the interest?
I would say that you would have to have, and this is what it was said in the article. One homeowner said, we're not just buying property, we're betting on each other.
It's like a marriage.
It is like a marriage. It is something that, hey, it's all great when it's going great, but when it doesn't, man, it's going to be messy.
People have, this is something people do. People have friends. There's someone listening right now. You have a friend group, and you know what you talk about the latest, what stock to buy, what's the hottest thing to buy there, or you're talking about this investment, and your friend group literally will be the direction of the trajectory of your life.
Yes.
Again, take it from me. If you're young Gen Z and you're listening, don't do what I did. Spending 20s and 30s on the dumbest things in the world and don't progress. And if you're in your 30s and if you're in your 40s right now and 50s, and you and your buddies, all you're talking about is the next happy hour and when we're gonna get together and just have drink, and that's your only thing that you're doing, man.
Yeah.
Gotta pick it up.
Okay, so as long as we're talking about housing, there's a legal battle that is brewing over private home sales. So this is, again, in the Seattle Times. The national brokerage giant Compass has now filed an antitrust lawsuit against the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. I think most people know what the listing service is, right?
Yes.
NMLS. So the fight is about what is called office exclusive listings. So homes that are marketed privately by a single brokerage instead of being shared on the public MLS. And Compass argues that these private listings are legal. They're also common in other cities, and they can benefit sellers that are looking for discretion. But the Northwest Multiple Listing Service says that kind of exclusivity gives certain agents an unfair advantage and limits transparency for buyers. So this is a lawsuit that could have huge implications for how homes are marketed, who gets to see them first, especially in our very, very competitive market here.
Yeah. I mean, you do have private owners offering sometimes, Ursula, opportunities for those out here to get in a rent-to-buy situations where it works. Sometimes it works out favorable. Sometimes it doesn't. But I think it seems like there is a theme here. We are talking about different creative ways to help people out because the standard where it's at right now, there's a lot of people that can't jump in. There's a lot of people that would really benefit from a private owner, or maybe the private owner would benefit from being able to do a private deal with selling their home.
I mean, one of the things with the Northwest Multiple Listing Service or any service like that, you're going to get a lot of eyes and a lot of agents who are seeing your property. So, one of the benefits and one of the things they always say is going through that whole thing, getting an agent that is going to list it on the Northwest Multiple Listing Service, you're going to have so many more people actually having access to it, and it could bid the price up, et cetera, or you will see. And what happens a lot of times is if a company wants to do it on their own and they're not part of this service, basically those agents that are all part of the Northwest MLS are not going to be showing the homes.
Right.
I mean, so those are that's the con in terms of, that's what they'll say is the disadvantage for you if you're not going with a multiple listing service.
Right.
So this company is saying, hey, they've basically got the market on all of it, and we want to be able to break in and not have to go that route. Is how I'm seeing these. So the whole private listing thing. Have you ever looked at a home that was for sale by owner? By the way,
yes.
Or when you see for sale by owner, do you say, or do you go, okay, I'm jumping in?
I automatically go, me, right? That's what I do, because sometimes.
And what's that reaction from?
I think that reaction is from you just feel a little bit better protected when it is sometimes a part of MLS. You start thinking about, okay, what am I missing here? Is this too good to be true? And because I'm not a professional, I personally like to rely on professionals. Some of you aren't maybe licensed professionals. You don't have your license, but you're extremely good at this stuff. So you know how to deal in this space.
Yeah.
Good for you. People like me who don't know, I need to rely on these MLS services, and I need to rely on knowing
agents.
On agents,
brokers,
yes.
Yeah. The few times that I have approached someone on these, what they call FSBOs or for sale by owners, I've always found that they tend to be houses that end up staying on the market for a long time, and a lot of times it's because they have priced it off, or also because they're not, they don't get the advice of how to, and I'm not trying to make the sale for why you should list a home. I mean, I don't have any skin in the game either way. But that has just been my experience. In a perfect world, though, if you could work out something like with your neighbor, or if someone down the street is selling their home and they don't have to list it, and you can go in and buy it and just work with an attorney or someone who knows real estate law and work it out that way, then you're avoiding all those fees.
And that's starting to happen.
Yes.
That's starting to happen. If you luck up into that opportunity, that'd be great.
Yes. Okay, hey, can we talk, as long as we're talking about saving money, maybe here is something that we can all celebrate in terms of what President Trump is doing. So he announced that he is going to set a 30-day deadline for drug manufacturers to lower the price of prescription drugs. And he's going to be signing an executive order directing the Department of Health to negotiate lower costs for medications. According to the president, if there's no deal in a month, he's going to change the prices of drugs sold in America to match drugs cost abroad.
Pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. So think of that. With 4% of the population, the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money, most of their profits from America. That's not a good thing.
Now, CBS's medical contributor, Dr. Celine Gounder, is not sure how effective this effort is going to be.
So this is an executive order. Is this enforceable? We don't know. Last time this was contested in the federal courts. This was not successful in moving forward. And in fact, the Biden administration pulled back on it, seeing that this was not going to be able to move forward.
But can I say that if President Trump can get this done, I would be thrilled. And I would be the first to congratulate him for his efforts to do this.
Yeah. I know that this would be awesome. And I know that coming out here, he just put a tweet out or whatever he put out on his Truth Social talking about this, the cost of this being potentially going down 59%, and talking about how groceries are down and there's no inflation. Hey, I want this country and everyone in it to win. That's no doubt about it. And since we're on the topic of pharmaceutical sales, we're talking about the profit, the gross profit that's in that. We're talking about people on fixed income not being able to afford their medicines throughout the country. Hey, Donald Trump, executive order, great. Let's continue on. Keep that same energy. Like stay on this. Don't just use it for just so you can, take away attention towards other things. Stay on this. I'll celebrate this. If it happens,
I'm going to celebrate. If it happens, I'm going to be, because right now, and I know Chef wants to jump in and just say, don't believe it, but I'm going to say that right now, one of the most heartbreaking things that I've seen, and it happened with my parents, my dad was on several medications that were ridiculously expensive until he was put on Medicaid, ridiculously expensive. And I was at the pharmacy, the Rite Aid pharmacy in my neighborhood, and I saw as an elderly gentleman went up to the pharmacy counter, and he was told that his medication was $1,200. I'm sorry. So I'm going to be thrilled if he's able to bring this down.
I would cheer if this would go through.
Can I ask this? When Biden administration was in office and they were trying to do the cap on insulin and everything like that, if this is so much a bipartisan thing, how come this hasn't never gone through?
Because the pharmacy company, there's a lot of money.
Say it out loud.
Pharmaceutical companies.
That's what I want you. That's what I want you to say.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical companies are going to fight this, but kudos to President Trump if he's going to fight them.
Careful what you wish for, though, because if this is successful, right, then that means that the president has the power to limit the profit of any corporate entity in the country. And I mean, while I welcome,
I think that's one of the arguments.
While I welcome socialism being embraced by the president, I don't know if it'll fly legally.
I think he's trying to do something about price gouging. I'm gonna say that his heart is in the right place on this particular issue.
I tell you what, some of you all say I have TDS all the time. Hey, Donald Trump, this is awesome. Go through with it. Keep going. I want to see people jump on this and be like, yes, we totally think there needs to be a cap. We totally agree that prices need to go on. Yes, let's do it. All right. We got 1047. We got scenarios. And up next, 1 in 10 boomers in this country have a hard time with this. We'll tell you next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
The John Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up, or when you store. Start with Stable.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimer.
The old throne's not too well, and who does it smell?
Dayandnight.net. Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Over the past 70 years, I think we've seen every drain clog out there. If your pipes aren't draining, I promise you, our experienced technicians will find the issue, the right solution, and do it at a fair price. We'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
Call Day and Night to save $50 off any drain cleaning.
Dayandnight.net. Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMensHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMensHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMensHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
We meet by accident, fixing every last dent, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last dent, accurate auto body.
If it's time for a new bath, go with a name you can trust, Bathfitter Northwest. Bathfitter is the original one-day bath remodeler, and right now they're offering 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Call Bathfitter today.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. It's been fun meeting people at our recent egg demo events. I'm often asked, what do the hens eat? Well, Wilcox hens eat natural grains, seeds, and grass. They forage for worms and bugs, and their diet is free from pesticides and fertilizers. For fresh local eggs, look for Wilcox eggs at Safeway, Town & Country Markets, or Amazon Fresh. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Heather Bosch. Word of a deal that could prevent a strike at SeaTac Airport. KIRO News Radio's Tom Brock reports.
After hours-long negotiation sessions, Teamsters officials are recommending workers vote yes Tuesday on a contract hammered out for about 150 aircraft refuelers. Last week, members had voted unanimously to strike.
Meantime, more than 100 ramp and wheelchair agents and plane cabin cleaners rallied over the weekend, calling for changes in their contracts. The workers, represented by the Service Employees International Union, are asking for higher pay, better health care, and protection for immigrant workers. Hundreds of healthcare workers with Peace Health hit the picket line in Bellingham. More from KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon, who explains.
It could affect everything from surgeries to basic cleaning. About 900 employees in all, including medical techs, housekeeping staff, nurses, part of this walkout. Over the past few weeks, we've spoken with Teamsters who say they are pushing for a new contract that includes higher pay and better benefits.
President Trump says he's giving drug manufacturers 30 days to lower prescription drug prices in the U.S.
Pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. So think of that. With 4% of the population, the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money, most of their profits from America. That's not a good thing.
It's unclear if the president's order can be enforced or if it would have any impact on Americans who get their health insurance through their employer. U.S. and China are significantly reducing their tariffs for 90 days after weekend talks in Switzerland. CBS's Javier David.
It's a tacit admission that we're not going to be sort of the manufacturing warehouse to the world that China is, and that apparently the White House wants. So there's a question that's percolating in everyone's minds. What was all of this for? And it's still not answered as of yet.
The U.S. is dropping its 145% tariff on Chinese goods down to 30%. China's tax on U.S. imports will go down to 10%. Hamas has freed an American-Israeli hostage. CBS's Linda Gradstein reports.
Hamas handed 21-year-old Idan Alexander to the Red Cross, who brought him to an army base on the border with Gaza. Alexander's mother waited at the base. He is the last dual U.S.-Israeli hostage who is still alive, and President Trump repeatedly asked Hamas for his freedom.
Wall Street very happy there's movement on tariffs. The Dow is up 1,072 points. NASDAQ ahead 741. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, cleanups underway on I-90 westbound at State Route 18, where troopers say 4,000 pounds of hog feed have spilled, blocking one lane. Not causing a huge backup, but you do have construction on 18 that has you slow from Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. In Federal Way, disabled vehicles blocking a lane on I-5 northbound at South 320th Street. In Seattle, a lane blocked on I-5 northbound at Dearborn. Travel time, Federal Way to Seattle is running just a few minutes slower than usual, though. Renton to Bellevue will take you 31 minutes, about 10 longer than typical. That's due to earlier issues. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday to all of you. Our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Y'all checking out Gee's. Is this a new outfit, by the way?
Yeah.
I was going to say new fit. Yeah. You can see it on YouTube.
As you guys know, I've been trying to, wear new stuff that I haven't worn. So.
Yeah. Like it. Okay. Hey, do you have a plan if you can no longer live on your own, and do you have the means to pay for that plan? And these are important questions because here in the U.S., only one in 10 seniors can afford assisted living. I mean, to use your words, let that sink in. Despite the common narrative that baby boomers are flush with cash, the reality is a lot more complicated. Right now, boomers collectively hold $75 trillion in wealth, but most of it is concentrated in the hands of a wealthy few. So this was actually a story in Fortune, but it quotes Wall Street analyst Meredith Whitney, who is best known for predicting the 2008 financial crisis. The majority of boomers in this country are aging in place simply because they cannot afford to move. So if people are holding on to their homes longer, what is happening in terms of the ability for others to move into those homes? So that would be one thing. And But with the costs of assisted living out of reach and mortgage rates locking people into their current homes, many boomers are just staying put, not because they want to, but because they have to out of necessity. And so she points out that 44% of all home equity loans are now being taken out by seniors. She says that's crazy. Think about it. You're not supposed to be at that point using your home equity loans. And it's really running counter to this idea of cushy retirements and financial freedom.
Right.
And so I know that you've had a chance to look through this article. And what are some of your thoughts?
First, let me start off by saying this absolutely has me terrified. It has me terrified for a couple reasons. One, this is something that you have been talking about on our show as someone who has firsthand knowledge of how much it does cost. Like, it wasn't until your dad was in a situation that I started to, oh, wow. Like, I had no idea. You think that it's going to cost this much. No, it's probably quadruple what you think it would cost for adult care. That's number one. Number two, this past weekend, as I was going back from downtown Boston to Foxborough driving, just so happened, Ursula, on Saturday, I was listening to a podcast on Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson is the famous singer back in the days in the 60s. You all can look him up. Anyway, long story short, Ursula, he was so famous and all these songs and did all these great things. But when he died, which he died at the age of 49 years old, gosh. When he died, he just had a marker for his grave in Detroit. He died in 1984, and they had to do like a benefit to just a radio DJ in 1987 did a radio benefit to get him a different place to be buried, like to actually give him a gravestone. And then they got him the mausoleum. They did all that later on in life. My point was, things can be going so well for you, and then towards the end, I think in this country, we make it so hard for our people who can't work as much as they used to. I think it should be the other way around. It should be extremely easy on our seniors in this country.
Well, you're exactly right. And it was an eye-opener, and it was something that I had to scramble to deal with because, as I shared throughout the whole journey, if you want to call it a journey, with my dad, a lot of times people are really reluctant to talk about their plans for when they can no longer be independent. Your parents may just want to change the subject every time you bring it up, and it sucks when you are confronted with a situation where you've got to figure something out in a hurry, in an emergency basis. And I say all this because suddenly you're going to realize assisted living, a lot of these places, if you don't have perfect insurance and a big pile of cash, it's $15,000 a month is not unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean that's easy with assisted living, especially if you have skilled nursing, et cetera, and you essentially, I mean, this article reminded me that unless you have just a ton of money, I mean, you're either looking at having to get on Medicaid, which is what we eventually had to do. I mean, my parents had a nest egg, but I had to try to protect because my mom wasn't ready for assisted living.
Right.
So. I mean, think about $15,000 a month. How long are you going to, even if you had a house that you sold?
Right.
How fast are you going to go through that money?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So I look at this, and it just is. It's a reminder, and I know that you all were talking, and Chef mentioned it's a reminder how unless you have just a heck a ton of money. I mean, you've got to be really thinking about, what's it going to look like if you are in the position of having to use assisted living.
Right. Can we use this story to frame the real problem in America? We're having all these conversations about taxing the rich. And I know there's a lot of kind of class warfare, and people who may own a home feel like they're under attack from people who don't. But here's the deal. You're a millionaire, you own $1 million home, that means nothing. You have $5 million in the bank, you can still go bankrupt. Yeah. There are two types of Americans: rich people who never will have to fear going bankrupt because of a medical issue or something happening in their family. And then there's the rest of us. And even if you have that $5 million, you can never feel safe in this country.
One catastrophic illness could take you out, unless, again, you have long-term insurance, and all your ducks in a row. And even then, it's like, okay, you got to realize. So a lot of people holding on to their homes. I mean, that's what we're dealing with right now.
This topic is truly a fear. Everything surrounding this topic is really a fear of mine. And it's a fear because you try to do the best that you can. And I've never been in that moment. But if in that moment, your will to live might be less because of you not being able to be functional the way that you were. And then, oh, by the way, during that time, your will to live could be potentially less. It costs you way more money in that situation than it did when you were able to move around. I don't know. It scares me.
But it's, and I think the other reason I want to make sure we bring up this story is the time to talk about it is right now. Mm-hmm. Whether you yourself are going through that situation or your parents are going through that situation, you've got to talk about it now.
Coming up next in Scenarios, parking lot etiquette. Is that a thing? Do it next. Gee Ursula.
White smoke above the Sistine Chapel.
History is happening.
Habemus Papam. We have a pope.
The first American pope to lead the Roman Catholic Church.
Local coverage of the biggest stories at home and around the world.
Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago. He is taking the name of Pope Leo XIV.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the KIRO Newsradio app, and read the latest at mynorthwest.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com. KIRONewsradio.com.
It may be the most noble profession.
Come on.
It's the work of heroes.
Heroes?
You want to live without plumbing?
Well, no.
Then you need plumbers.
Right.
Thing is, so do I.
You need plumbers.
Smiles, actually.
Smiling plumbers?
Or someone who smiles and wants to become an Apollo plumber.
A smile. That's what it takes?
Skills are something we can teach.
Sure.
But a positive attitude comes from within.
That's a big part of being an Apollo plumber.
The biggest part.
What else?
A desire to learn and serve.
Just like every Apollo plumber.
As they learn, so shall they earn.
Earn?
Apollo plumbers can earn 6 figures.
Enough to make me smile.
We believe you get what you give.
Give a smile.
And Apollo service.
Get a smile.
A well-paid smile.
Driving one of those big blue Apollo trucks.
That's the goal.
Does seem pretty noble.
It's important, satisfying work.
And you're looking now?
There's always room for another smile around here.
On the Apollo Plumbing team.
Apply at apolloplumbing.com.
Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, Doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity. But the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Ivers has opened its new Clam Digger Cafe on Pier 54 in the new Seattle Waterfront Park. Order off the menu, featuring new shareables like pretzel and beer cheese bites, crab and shrimp empanadas, a fried clam po' boy, or Ivers margarita prawns. You can still get Ivers favorites, including fish and chips, calamari, Seattle's favorite clam chowder, grilled salmon, or halibut. Try Ivers' new Clam Digger Cafe on Pier 54. Details at ivers.com.
Let's get to scenarios. The other night, my wife and I were at a restaurant. It was packed, but I saw a car with its reverse lights on. They back out, and I pulled in. As we got out of the car, a guy yells out the window. We had our blinker on, and that was our spot. I said, "What are you talking about? I didn't see you." He said that he had passed the spot, but when he saw the car backing out, he put his blinker on, even though he had passed the spot by a few feet. I said, "Sorry, buddy, you were ahead of the spot, and you missed it. Once you go past, you lose it." He said, "Great, go on and have a great dinner, and don't worry about me parking behind you and blocking you in." He didn't, and it was all fine, but who's right here? What should I have done? 888-973-5476 is the text line. Ursula, you up to bat first.
And just to repeat, he or she says that didn't see the other driver with the lights on at all.
No, so they saw the reverse lights come on.
Yes.
And then so when they backed out, they went in. But they said that there was another car that honked, but that other car on its, so if you're the driver, on his left side had already passed.
Yes.
So it passed, and then they're basically like, "Hey, we got there first, but we only passed it by a few feet, and we put our blinker on, and we were backing up to get that spot."
Okay, it is getting harder and harder to park these days. Have you noticed that? And people circling, especially if you go to places like U Village or places where somehow it feels like you're always trying to find that one spot, and people are very aggressive about trying to say, "Hey, I saw it first."
They zoom up.
They zoom up, or they're whipping around trying to get to the other thing. If they already went past it, I would have just let it. If I was the person who went past it and I see, because I've been in that situation where you see someone drive up behind you, and you're like, "Oh, dang it, I missed it." Mm-hmm. You went too far. Mm-hmm. So, the person I think is right is the person who pulled in.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I saw that someone had just gone, I probably would have just kept on going and and just waved and made it a nice day for them. Say, you can have that. I'll go on and look.
Right. So, I just wanted you to know, I have had this situation happen to me.
Yes.
I didn't get out of the car yet. They just honked. They kept honking, and I go, and they were like, "Hey!" They didn't pass. They were
facing you.
They were facing me.
Yeah.
But I saw them, but they weren't close enough.
Yes.
And so they honked, and I looked, and they raised their hands up. Guess what I did? Backed out of the spot and pulled off and let them have that spot.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I was going to say,
it's not
worth it.
Why I'm going to come out and all of a sudden there's my car is scratched up?
Exactly.
Nah. Hey, I didn't even look at them. I reversed out.
That's why I drive a 15-year-old car, I guess,
spot.
so I can have these confrontations and not worry about my ride. But yeah, if the rule is if anyone passes the spot,
it's a wrap.
Like don't be pretending like, oh, I was gonna back in. Yeah. No. And when you're facing each other, whoever is closest to the spot gets the spot. Yep. It's not like I saw it first.
Yeah, I was coming around and I saw it.
Ridiculous.
I know it is, but like you said, are you going to make a stink about it? I'm not, and the reason I'm not is because exactly what you said. People have been shot over parking spots.
And another question,
I refuse to live in fear.
Since we have been talking about, getting older as we age and living and how expensive it is, the last topic, can I just give some word of advice for all of us? Can we start going to the furthest parking spot so we can get our steps in? Can we get it? Stop going for the closest one. The furthest one, there's empty spots out there.
I know. That's so funny. Have you ever laughed at yourself when you're like circling around trying to find that close spot and you're like, wait a minute. I would have my choice of spots.
Yeah.
If I just went a little further, it would be better for my health. Okay, here's another one. So someone said a bunch of people are talking about the Costco parking lot.
Because people be losing their mind in that parking lot.
Okay, what do you think about this though? When someone stands at an empty parking spot and waits for their
no,
just no. Stop.
Okay, wait. What do you wait?
No.
When you say no, you mean to tell me if someone's standing there, you're gonna tell them to move?
No.
Okay.
I might pull my car in.
What do you mean?
What?
Wait.
Generally, they're like, I'll pull my car right there, right in front of them, and I'll just sit there.
No,
and they can yell about it all they want.
You would have a confrontation with someone who stands.
I wouldn't have a confrontation. I wouldn't even say anything. I just stay there.
So, Chef, you're going to tell me if a lady is standing there,
and she says, "My husband's trying to."
You would pull in your car on that lady?
I'd pull up in front, and I'd say, "Tough cookies." That's not how the world works. That's how society degrades, is when all of us refuse to stand up and allow these things to happen.
Nick, what do you got, bro? What do you got, Nick?
This just comes with the territory in every busy parking lot. And the key to finding the end goal with those mazes is to not get worked up about one spot. But I know human emotion is easily vulnerable when someone slashes your pride, taking no regard to your approach and swiping right in like he's stealing someone's rightful property. Be the bigger person and find another spot. You don't know what they'll do to escalate the situation. It's only going to get worse.
Real quick, everyone, Ursula, hey, this is a PSA. If there's someone standing in a parking spot and you're getting ready to take that spot, but someone's standing there, please do me a favor. Just go find another spot.
Driving.
Please do not pull your car in on that person. Please.
It's always the guy sending the lady out there to do it for him,
I don't want you on Ursula's top stories of the day.
Exactly.
No, I'm being serious. No,
I'm serious
stop.
Too. It's not worth it. Think about it.
No,
Get some steps. Just find another parking spot.
Let them stand there.
Yes.
Don't pull your car in on what? Man, you better be. Don't do that.
I want to see Chef have that confrontation.
Do you know how often my arms go up in the air while I'm driving?
Oh, no.
I believe it. No, we believe it. No, we believe everything.
Oh, you're an arm raiser. Okay.
Oh, the arm. I get it.
Yeah. Okay, we got agree to disagree coming up next. Wait a minute. If you're a pet owner, you want to stick around for this. And if you're not a pet owner, you want to stick around for this. Wait until you find out what pet owners are claiming to say. Next, Gee Ursula.
Come on and ride on the funky y'all. Come along and ride on the fantastic voyage.
John Curley here. Smart homeowners are upgrading heat pumps and air conditioners now before the summer heat wave with incredible rebates and discounts that'll save you up to $6,000. Home Comfort Alliance makes paying easy with 18 months, same as cash financing. Call Home Comfort Alliance today for a free quote and save up to $6,000. For your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, visit homecomfortalliance.com today. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back.
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The last living American hostage held by Hamas in Gaza has been released. In his hometown of Tenafly, New Jersey, reporter Marla Diamond.
People have been gathering here since 4 in the morning awaiting Idan Alexander's release, and cheers erupted when it was confirmed. Michael Berg has had a sign with Idan's photo in his front yard for the past 19 months.
I hope we get to take that down tonight. And on the sign, it crosses off. He was taken when he was 19. He was still in captivity when he was 20. And now he's 21 years old.
Hamas says he was released as a goodwill gesture to try to revive talks on ending the war in Gaza. Reporter Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
The hope is that now we're going to have a new round of negotiations. An Israeli delegation heading tomorrow to Qatar to try and get the negotiations back on track to get the release of more hostages and a ceasefire.
President Trump is on his way to the region to visit Gulf Arab states. Before leaving, he signed an executive order giving drug makers 30 days to lower the cost of prescription drugs.
Pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. So think of that. With 4% of the population, the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money, most of their profits from America. That's not a good thing.
The health department will now broker new prices for drugs. If no deal is reached, a new rule will kick in, making drug prices in this country the same as in others. CBS's Natalie Brand.
Already, we've seen the pharmaceutical companies come out swinging against this latest plan, and this is likely going to be challenged. This really would require an act of Congress, so this is going to continue to play out likely in the court.
The U.S. and China have reached a 90-day truce in the trade war, rolling back most of the recent tariff hikes. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns at the White House.
There are still a lot of questions here about what would go into effect after this 90 days and if, in fact, they are able to work out a very complicated trade deal between the U.S. and China, and also questions about what the U.S. will eventually get out of this.
And many businesses which plan their inventories months ahead of time are somewhat skeptical. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
Some of the damage may have already been done in terms of the slowdown in the economy, but if these negotiations hold, economists believe that the U.S. can escape a recession.
More talks are planned, and on Wall Street, the Dow is up more than 1,000 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
New video of a man opening fire at sheriff's deputies. That story coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, cleanups underway on I-90 westbound at State Route 18, where troopers say 4,000 pounds of hog feed have spilled, 2 lanes blocked. Also on State Route 18, construction has you slow from Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. After earlier issues, your Renton to Bellevue travel time is back down to 21 minutes. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle is 28, Everett to Seattle 27, and your lake bridges are clear. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The Thurston County Sheriff's Office says newly released video shows a man firing at deputies with an AR-15 as they tried to arrest him. More from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
The gunshots recorded by a dash cam. Thurston County deputies say 27-year-old Damian Madison fired at least 15 times at deputies attempting to arrest him on felony warrants Thursday. Deputies arrested the female getaway driver. Madison escaped into nearby woods. There's now a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
We put his photo up at mynorthwest.com. Call 911 if you see him. Pierce County deputies arrested 3 people wanted for robbing a man who was trying to sell an AR-15 in a Spanaway parking lot. Here's the moment deputies caught up with them.
Driver, put your hands out the window or you're going to get shot. Turn the car off. Throw the keys out the window. Do it now.
Deputies arrested a 22-year-old man, his 18-year-old woman driver, and 2 17-year-old boys. Drivers in Mukilteo take note. New speed cameras are now active along Mukilteo Speedway. Officers plan to issue warnings for the next 30 days, but if you get caught speeding after that, it's going to cost you about $123. The city tells the Everett Herald it's an effort to reduce crashes. 2 years after Link 2 light rail started running between Bellevue and Redmond's technology sector, light rail now runs to the Redmond Town Center and Marymore Village. And KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson reports riders are eager for more.
The first ride
to commute, at least to downtown Bellevue,
of many to come.
I can go to Bellevue and not have to drive through all the traffic. Amazing.
The line opening, despite the bridge across Lake Washington continuing to be delayed.
Can't wait for the Seattle line to open.
Sound Transit tells me testing on that will begin soon with the goal of opening that and the federal way station in 2026.
The University of Washington softball team is tournament bound again. The Seattle Times says the Huskies earned an at-large bid to the NCAA regionals. This marks 31 straight appearances. They'll travel to Texas and play Mississippi State on Friday. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s. It's 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, May 12th. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning, G. We have another very, very busy hour for you.
Yeah.
Coming up at 11:30, it might be one of my favorite stories in a long time. There is a guy in Oregon who has gone viral because he quit his job, bought a boat, and he has decided to sail to Hawaii with his cat. I mean, there's a reason behind all of this, but we were having a conversation this morning. If you were told, you have one more year to live, what is it that you would want to do? Okay. And no, I don't mean to be grim about that, but let's just say you have a limited amount of time. What is it that you would want to do? Or if you could just you don't need to work anymore, what is it that you would want to do? What would that be? Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. You can have the conversation on YouTube with our community over there as well. But,
that's right. Show up to YouTube on there. By the way, it's a little light over there. I saw it's getting like 65. More people. Show up to the YouTube channel and hang out.
Give them something to look at. And I'm wondering if maybe we need to
swimsuit season.
Yeah.
There we
you
go.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At first I didn't, but now I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Sorry. After watching just 5 minutes of ads for junk food, children will consume more calories. This is from the UK. They took a look at a bunch of 7 to 15-year-old, showed them 5 minutes ad for food, 5 minutes of ad of non-food related things, and they found that throughout the course of the day, it's not just right after, they will eat 130 more calories on average. And what they're looking to do, the goal of this research, is to basically reduce the inputs that cause people to overeat, and especially children. So, naturally, this brings up the question, should we limit or ban sugary foods, junk food ads?
No, we should not. First of all, marketing is just life. Like that's it. Everything that we consume is because of some effort around marketing. And by the way, Ursula, not just children eat more calories after seeing an ad. We adults do too.
Yeah, you talked about a fried bologna sandwich that you had, and how many people texted in and said they were now hungry for a bologna sandwich?
The fried bologna, and they had the audacity to put that mustard on there.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Okay, so so you're saying basically no. I mean, a couple of reasons why I would not be in favor of a ban, although I think there might be a compromise. But hear me out here. First of all, how do you define junk food? Like, what is junk food? So that would be the first thing.
You know what?
Certain amount of sugar, certain amount of calories, certain amount of fat.
That's a good question.
So I think that would be a move. Yes.
You know it when you see it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, remember,
and everyone knows when they see it, right?
We're fresh off the food pyramid, Gen X and Boomers.
Yes.
The food pyramid that had us drinking 5 to 6 servings of milk a day.
Yes. Okay, and advertising is only one way that your kids are getting junk food in their mouths. What's the other way? Because you're buying it and putting it in the fridge, and then you're parking your kid in front of the TV and not monitoring what it is that they're eating.
Yeah.
I think we're focusing on the wrong thing. It's not so much the advertising, but it is what we are doing as parents and what we're giving our kids access to.
Yeah.
Right? And on top of that, I mean, banning those kinds of commercials, I mean, that would now talk about freedom of speech, freedom, the ability to advertise, as long as it's a legal choice, it's something legal, they should be able to advertise it.
And by the way, which kids, in whatever you deem to be junk foods, what kids eat more junk foods, the well-to-do or the not so well-to-do kids in this country? It is cheaper to buy whatever you deem junk food to be. That food is usually less expensive, and it's easier to feed your kids Pop-Tarts every morning for breakfast. I'm speaking from experience.
What do we lose? What do we lose if we limit or ban it? Right? We don't allow cigarettes to be advertised whatsoever. There's a lot of restrictions on the sale of alcohol, right? There's certain restrictions on gambling and marketing gambling products. So I don't understand why we all know, like, sugar is a national, international crisis, the amount that we consume. We know it makes us ridiculously unhealthy. We know it is a major cause of cancer, of all kinds of disease, diabetes, etc. And yet we're like, hey, let's stay with this world where we push this on kids knowing that it will influence to eat more. It's not, hey, you put them in front of the TV and they have whatever they want in the house. No, it's if you put them in front of the TV and they see those ads, they're going to eat more.
Well, but again, the question would be, what constitutes junk food? And then who is going to determine what?
I'm willing to have that debate later. Like, we can define that.
No, we could also have the debate about, like, let's go back to the old school when we used to when TV would shut off. We now have 24-hour TV. Sitting in front of your TV, sitting down all the time, can be just as worse for your health than sugary foods. My point to bringing that up is we could do this all day when you're talking about limiting different marketing. You can't pick and choose on these topics.
Sure you can.
Sugary, no, you can't. For sugary food, or for at one point it was, hey, don't eat red meat. That was a thing for a while. Like, red meat's bad for you. Like, we can't start picking and choosing what we decide to market.
Now, some countries have, though, restricted what they consider junk food ads during kids' TV hours or on platforms that are geared toward kids. So, but again, I mean, think about obviously all the advertising. How many cereal commercials do you see when you're watching cartoons?
And that's junk food too, by the way. That's absolute. Most cereal is junk food. All right, let's move on. I was going to come at you, Gene, and be like, do you think it was wrong to ban advertising cigarettes? Yes or no? Yes or no? But I'm going to move on. All right, let's see. Would you live a shorter life in order for your pet to have a longer life? This is an actual survey of 2,000 cat and dog owners from January. Talker Research found that 56% of pet owners said they would rather cut their own life, or they would cut their own lives to extend their pets.
Okay. I don't know what it is about today's topics today in this Monday, but there's a lot of topics that I just really don't understand. Like, I don't understand how 56% of people lied like this, right? They are lying. There's no way that you're willing to do that. Now, no. By the way, let me answer mine first. No, I am not willing to cut my life short so Vito and Frankie can live longer. Now, can we make this a topic harder? Can we make the topic harder?
Okay, yes.
How about your spouse? Would you limit your life so that your spouse could live longer than you? Like the animals, I think most people are not going to limit their lives.
Most people do it, and I think you're right. I don't think they were answering that. No. I think they were answering, like, who put this out? Purina?
Purina.
You know what I'm saying?
It feels like
we know you really love your pet so much so that you would die before,
A bunch of people, ladies and fellas and people, got together in Ballard and did this survey. You know what I'm saying?
2,000 people?
I used to live in Ballard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
no, just
okay. Do you want to ask? You want to ask if you would? I would live fewer lives. I would live fewer years if for my spouse to live longer. Yeah. Yes, and I would absolutely 1,000% live. I mean, obviously we're not in this situation, but what for my kids? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah,
Ryan in the 360 says, excuse me, I would definitely cut 10 years off my life if I got to spend an extra 5 years with my dogs.
See, I think that this is very real. I mean, especially if you're a younger person, like 40 or below, and you think, hey, knock 2 years off the end of my life when I'm old and miserable to spend 5 more years with my dog.
Yes.
Sure, I'll take it. But
Ryan is telling us how much he truly loves his dogs. And he says it with conviction, and he says, I don't live in Ballard. I live out in the sticks of Mason County.
By the way, if you would not do this, you cannot call yourself a pet parent. Because the only way that you can call yourself a parent is if you're willing to sacrifice for your pet the same way that you would sacrifice for your child.
Okay. I don't mean any disrespect. Please, but Ed in Ballard says, I would cut a decade off my life to spend more time with my baby girl. Sends in a dog.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Shwari says, who's in her 20s, says she would cut off some of her life for her 2 cats if they got extra life, if it was healthy and happy, and not just them continuing to get decrepit.
I don't believe you. I don't believe humans that are texting in saying that you would cut your life short. Okay, well, let's just go around the horn. Would you, Ursula? Would you cut your life short? 5 years for Scooter, your dog. How old is Scooter now?
He's 15 and he's doing just fine. And I think he's going to live till 20, but already he's deaf. And things are starting to fall apart. No, I would not cut my life shorter.
For Valentine, our 14-year-old little sweetheart, no, absolutely not.
Nick, would you cut your life short?
I would not cut my life short for any pet. I know. Sorry.
So that's 4 for 4 in here. Mm-hmm. And now we got texters texted in?
We have much more, let's say, kind-hearted animal lovers on our text line.
I just don't believe it. Look, I love you guys. And from Kitsap says, believe it, G.
Yeah, I actually believe them, the ones who are texting in. I do believe it. It's hard to say what you would do until you are confronted with that actual situation, though. It's easy to answer.
It's a complete hypothetical.
It is a hypothetical.
You can't trade your mana.
And this is going grim, but having been with people who are facing death, you realize the fight for life that people have even as they're confronting their mortality. I mean, it's strong for the most part.
Of all the hypotheticals in the 5.5 years of doing this show, this was the easiest one. This is the one, and by the way, you all are texting in saying that you would cut your life short for your animal. I love you, but I don't believe you.
There are 2 answers to this on the text line, and 2 answers alone. It is people saying vehemently, BS, there's no way anyone would do this, and other people saying, abso-frickin-lutely, I would. And I believe both of you.
Okay, you know what's happening, though, right now, too? People are having conversations with their partners.
Oh,
okay,
no.
Would you do this for me, or how would you answer this question? The question that we asked. Now there's going to be that conversation of, if I could live longer, would you be willing to give some of yourself?
Why would anyone want that, though? Because that sounds like the saddest thing in the world.
It really does.
I have more time on the earth without the person that I love the most, so that they can have less time. That math ain't mathin' for me.
I could see maybe for a dog since they're so loyal, but a cat or a reptile, come on, they would not do the same for you.
Absolutely not.
Oh, my God. Our text line is blowing up. One more thing. Mike in Portland says, my dog would trade me in for a rotisserie chicken. There's no way I'm giving him any of my life.
I think this survey's got to be accurate because it is literally about 50-50 here. And I would say, half the answers are not necessarily from pet owners.
Yes, this is true.
People call them BS. All right, let's move on. Alan Moore, he is the creator of the Watchmen comic book series. Apparently, one of his beliefs in life, just ran across this on Reddit, is that modern superheroes are a blight to cinema. They're also a blight to culture, and that the popularization of the genre on the part of adults is, quote, infantilization. Gee, is there any worse genre of film than modern superhero movies?
Go to me first.
Oh, I'll answer.
Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead and answer.
Who is this person who's saying this?
He's a comic book author.
Yeah, comic book author. He needs to laugh a little bit more.
Okay.
He needs to enjoy life a little bit more.
It's a serious comic book.
Grief. I'm sorry, but it infantilizes. How about people just enjoy a little escapism? How about people enjoy the good guy winning in the end and the super... I know some people who absolutely love those movies because for one thing, you need an escape. You want to have a feel-good movie. You want to just, you're not thinking that this is real life. I just think this person sounds like a bitter person and probably someone who really thinks that anything below subtitles and movie is not art.
If you enjoy AI movies, then you will love superhero movies. My son is 8 years old, so anything that makes a sound like is really, really cool. If you're still into that when you're 40, like most of the Superman movies are awful. No plot, all AI. It's dudes in green screens.
Why is he being quiet on this?
He doesn't want to share his actual opinion.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want to stay friends with everybody on a Monday. It's too early in the week. You all don't want to hear my sweeping statement. You're going to be mad. I do have one. Ursula, I just can't do it. I don't have the heart to do it on a Monday. I have a sweeping statement about the individuals, especially fellas, that make it a point to go see superhero movies on the first day.
Well, I think your point is what Chef just said, which is you think it's weird.
I don't want to say it.
And I just think, hey, if you can suspend reality for a while and just enjoy your time in a movie, and if it's a superhero, I don't think it's weird.
By the way, our contributor that comes on from MSNBC, Dr. Jason Johnson, who comes on to our show, and I tell him this, I let him know, he's the biggest nerd, and he is the one that goes day one when superhero movies come out, and he goes and see it 2 to 3 times. Now, so I can say this. Some of my best friends are, you got to make sure you put a disclaimer.
Yeah,
some of my best friends love superhero movies. So I can say next, I think it's weird.
There's nothing redeeming about these movies. It is the worst of Hollywood.
Nick, if you're going to see superhero movies first day all the time, I think it's weird.
Especially if you're waiting in line for a couple hours for it, too.
So that's my sweeping statement, Ursula. My sweeping statement is this. All the fellas out here that go see superhero movies in their 40s and 50s on day one.
Go ahead. Go ahead, G. Say it. Say it with your chest.
It's just different. It's just a little different. I don't want to call it. It's different. I'm sweeping statement. I'm sorry. Just something's different. If you go to see and if you're wearing Star Trek gear, or you're wearing Disney Mickey Mouse clothes,
I
going to Disney.
disagree, and I don't get into the Star Wars movies and all that.
Sporting gear.
Oh my God.
Jerseys with some dude's name on it.
You guys need to enjoy life a little more.
Scott and Auburn says, well, if G doesn't go to superhero movies, and he says, what about, in quotes, chick flicks? Well, Scott, now that you ask.
Rom-coms?
I love rom-coms. It's actually one of my favorite genres.
And you know that there are going to be people who judge you for that.
No. You can't. You're not judging me for that. But these superheroes.
No,
it's a fair comp.
Yeah.
But I like rom-coms.
I love rom-coms.
There are some good ones.
Nikki's mad at me. Who saw Can't Buy Me Love back in the day? Anybody? Yeah. Patrick Dempsey. You know? Yeah. All right. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula, good topic to talk about is, if you only had so much time, what would you do? How would you live your life? Well, there's a story out of Oregon. He's going to talk about that next. Gee and Ursula. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
KIRO Newsradio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey live in Linwood.
Bunch of tall trees in a wooded area just off of Alderwood Mall Parkway.
And we thank you.
We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
One of the things I love doing after a long, hard day is to take a nice hot bath. But if you have that bathtub that is outdated or still grimy, even after all those hours of cleaning it, do what our family did and call Bathfitter. I have done the research for you, and I've got to tell you that Bathfitter is simply the best. And here's why. At Bathfitter, they're going to handle the process from start to finish. They're going to do everything from designing your bath, manufacturing the materials, and installing it themselves. They're not going to be bringing in subcontractors. You're only going to be working with highly trained, trusted bath fitter employees who've been creating gorgeous dream bathrooms for so many years. We had our bathroom installed recently, and bath fitters designer came to the house, and she helped me pick everything from the type of wall and tubs to the fixtures, the door styles, the colors, all of it. And it came together beautifully. And did I mention it was done in less than a day? Bath Fitters quality is truly unmatched. They have more than 40 years experience and more than 2 million happy customers. And right now, they're offering 0% interest for 24 months. So now really is the perfect time to get that new dream bath. Call Bath Fitter today or visit bathfitternw.com.
Greetings, Boomtown. Ever since this neighborhood switched to Xfinity Internet,
the Wi-Fi is booming!
Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile with one all-in plan.
So we've all got lightning-fast, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go with Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile.
You get the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best in-class equipment and unlimited data included. Plus, add an unlimited mobile line.
All for only $40 a month for 1 year. To celebrate this combo, we're mashing our shows together.
It's everything you need all in one plan. Plus, learn how to get a free 5G phone with a premium unlimited line. Now, sit back and relax with the smooth, relaxing sound
of face-melting acid metal!
Brilliant.
Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Ends June 23rd with paperless billing and autopay to stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet gateway required. Texas fees extra. After 1 year rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years regular rates apply. Actual Wi-Fi speeds vary. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report August 2024.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. A question we get asked a lot this time of year is, how do the hens stay warm when it's so cold out? Of course, we have nice barns to protect them from the rain, wind, and snow. But also, their feathers are like a down jacket, and if they need additional warmth, they will often snuggle together. And for those very cold days, we have heaters to keep them comfortable and happily laying eggs. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability, making it possible for our family to keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Pick up Wilcox eggs at Costco, Marlene's, and Hagen's. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat, pre-peeled, hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Cold is leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Whatever temperatures this summer brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training, and skills are backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. So whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new cooling system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. For a dealer near you, visit BryantNorthwest.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
I just learned 10% of our electricity in Washington comes from nuclear energy.
I've heard it's reliable and has a small footprint, but what about the waste?
It's not what you might think. No overflowing dumpsters or leaking barrels. Used fuel is safely stored in solid form after powering homes, schools, and businesses for years. All nuclear power plants in the U.S. store their used fuel responsibly to protect the environment.
Where can I learn more?
You can learn about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com. Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
Discover one of the new inventions in home comfort with mini split systems from Home Comfort Alliance. Call now for a free consultation and get 18 months same as cash financing. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Divers have found the body of a fishing boat captain who went down with the ship near Grays Harbor Friday morning. Crews say the 68-foot Captain Raleigh was taking on water near the harbor entrance. The Coast Guard and a Good Samaritan were able to pull 3 crew members from the water. More than 150 aircraft fuelers at SeaTac Airport are being urged to vote yes on a contract offer Tuesday. They had threatened to strike. Their company and the Teamsters Union agreed to a deal after negotiating for hours.
Meantime, over the weekend, more than 100 other union workers, including ramp and wheelchair agents and plane cabin cleaners, rallied at the airport's International Boulevard entrance calling for changes to their union contract. They are represented by the Service Employees International Union and are asking for more pay, better health care, and protections for immigrant workers. Tom Brock, KIRO News Radio.
The last surviving American hostage held by Hamas has been released and handed over to the Red Cross. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb says Israeli-American Edon Alexander had been held in Gaza since the October 7th attack.
His mother and family have been carrying out this extraordinary campaign to try to release their son and the remaining hostages in Gaza. And one would imagine very soon now he will be in the arms of his family.
Sources say the royal family of Qatar is preparing to give President Trump a Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet as a gift. President Trump on why he would accept it.
And I think it was a gesture because of the fact that we have helped and continue to. We will continue to. All of those countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and others, we keep them safe. If it wasn't for us, they probably wouldn't exist right now. And I think this was just a gesture of good faith.
Trump is set to fly to the Middle East to meet with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE about investments in the U.S. The U.S. and China have agreed to significantly reduce their tariffs for 90 days after weekend negotiations in Switzerland. CBS's Javier David.
The apocalypse has been postponed, but maybe not canceled just yet. Lots of caveats built into this. It's temporary. It's a 90-day pause. We could easily find ourselves back at square one. It's happened before. It could happen again.
The 145% tariff on Chinese goods imported to the U.S. will drop to 30%. China's tax on U.S. imports will drop to 10%. And Wall Street loves that. The Dow is up 1,132 points right now. NASDAQ ahead 759. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Belfair, you have a significant crash that has traffic alternating on State Route 3 near the Kitsap-Mason County line. In Seattle, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound near Seneca Street. Cleanup still underway on I-90 westbound at State Route 18, where troopers say 4,000 pounds of hog feed have spilled, 2 lanes blocked. Also on State Route 18, remember you have construction that has you slow from Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. After earlier issues, your Renton to Bellevue travel time is back down to 21 minutes. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies with highs today in the low 60s. It is 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Gee and Ursula Show. Sure appreciate you hanging out with us on this Monday morning. We're asking a lot of very deep questions. And what would you do? What would you do in this scenario? And our question right now is, if you found out you had a limited time left, which obviously we all have a limited time, but let's say you're told that you have a disease that's going to take over your body in 2 or 3 years, what would you do with that time that you have when you're still healthy? An Oregon man who was diagnosed with a rare spinal condition has just set sail for Hawaii, and he has only one companion with him. Who is that? His cat. And King 5 News caught up with 29-year-old Oliver Widger, who quit his job at a tire shop to tackle the high seas.
Got to the coast and then it spent the 5 months not speaking to a single soul except for my cat.
His cat is Phoenix, a 7-year-old feline that he rescued from a dumpster, who's now his first mate.
I don't know. I think I love her more than I love any human, she's my best friend. And this is day 1
on April 30th
of crossing the Pacific Ocean,
Oliver,
and sailing from Oregon to Hawaii.
Just him, his cat Phoenix, and the open waters of the ocean.
Nothing. The only rules are what Mother Nature makes, and I like that.
This journey is not just about sailing.
And I keep doing my rounds and making sure everything's working, and it's working. But my God, we're having a great time.
It's about living the life that he wants to live.
Welcome to day 4.
And without the constraints of a corporate job.
I just reflected a lot on life, and I was like, well, I don't want to, this sucks. I don't want to do this and then have an impending doom looming over my head.
That impending doom, he mentions, a potentially paralyzing condition affecting his spine. 3 years ago, he was diagnosed with Klippel-Feil syndrome.
And so my cervical spine looks like somebody who's over 115 years old. All of my vertebrae there's no discs in between them, and they're all fused and deformed, and it's all just a big mess.
So a few more details, G. He quit his job, he cashed out his 401k, and then bought this $50,000 sailboat. He started learning how to sail. He basically was watching on YouTube, and then a neighbor also helped him. And then now he's doing this voyage. He set sail for Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, that's incredible, I think.
Yeah.
Gutsy. And it's something that I could never, ever, ever see myself doing in terms of being out in the open ocean by myself with my cat. No, that's not happening. However, kudos to him.
Right. And so he got that news, and this is something that he wanted to do. He said he wanted to learn, something to get him looking forward to. I guess the answer would be, if that were to come down, Ursula, I want to make sure that I keep some sense of purpose. And I say, we talk about this all the time. And one of the things that I think that that is very much so a blessing for what you and I do for a living is being able to do what we do and talk every single day. Whether it's hard news, good news, just news in general, we have an opportunity to say it. Some people don't even get an opportunity to say what's on their mind. This really helps. So I wouldn't quit the job.
If you knew you only had a year or two remaining on Earth, you would still do the job?
Because I think that some type of purpose every single day will help you. Once you stop that work and then now you're relaxing a little bit more, things start to set in, I want to try to reverse it, baby.
Yeah.
As
much as I love my job, if I knew that I had a limited amount of time when I could be mobile or disease-free or whatever it was, I would not be continuing to work. And I love my job. But I would not work. I would try to spend as much time with family. Right now that consists of, our sons, my husband, and the siblings that I have left. I mean, those would be the core people that I would want to spend as much time as I could. And there are parts of this world that I have never seen, and my goal is to see everything on my wish list in terms of countries that I've not visited. And that's what I would want to do. And whoever from my family would want to travel with me, that's what I would want to do. And I mean, again, I love my job, but I would not. It would be too many hours spent away from my family.
Right.
There's something about the story that really struck me and resonated with me. I wish this guy was older.
Yes.
And that is this narrative we have in society that as men, the most fulfilling thing you can do is to be the lone wolf, the explorer, the guy who builds, the off-grid cabin. And that's a great lifestyle for some people. But I spent time living alone, and I tried to kind of live that. It is not a fulfilling life. Like, we need to teach men that connection with other people is what fulfills us, not escape.
Yeah, so speaking of fulfilling.
That's a beautiful way of putting it.
Speaking of fulfilling, I'm on another journey right now, and I know if you're somebody that probably makes fun of me being on all different types of journeys all the time. By the way, I'm just realizing it's really fun. But if there's anybody out here that loves yard work, grass, being greens, pruning, and all that stuff,
there are a lot of people.
Text in your ideas to me because my journey starts today, Ursula. Today, I think the reason why I'm in such a good mood is because I cannot wait to get off work. I'm heading home. I got new supplies on the way. So anyway,
I love that. I love your
up.
passions. I love that you really got into cooking. I love that you've really gotten into fitness. I love all of that. Barry in the 253 says he's going out his way, and I think that's exactly right. I mean, his way. It's his way, and so for
Ursula's
him,
way.
Exactly. So for him, being on that sailboat, and I love what you said about connection, Chef. But I also know that there are some people who want to be by themselves. Oh, my niece. I couldn't have ever imagined doing what she did, but when she graduated from the University of Washington, she solo hiked the Pacific Crest Trail. My young, strong, beautiful niece did that on her own. I mean, that is incredible. And I was like, how could you do it? The first time I'd have to pitch a tent, I'd be like, oh my God, where's my help? Right?
That wouldn't be fun to me,
It wouldn't
but
be fun to me,
fun
but
to your niece.
it was the most incredible experience of her lifetime.
Yeah. So and some people do want connection, like you said, Ursula.
Yes.
Some people don't.
Yes.
Some people don't. Matter of fact, the lady that I sat next to on the way home from Boston, for Mother's Day, she was going to up to Vancouver, BC, and she was going to take pictures of birds.
See, now that sounds peaceful.
That was her Mother's Day gift to herself.
I love that.
All right, everybody. Coming up next, your text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's Where Ursula Live By. Gee Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Feature reporting, sports reporting, and overall excellence.
And we thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Watch and listen anywhere by downloading the KIRO Newsradio app, and always stay connected at mynorthwest.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order.
Call 1-800-917-4635 now
to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out.
That's 1-800-917-4635.
It's a new year, but many seniors are struggling with the same old problem: high prices and rising property taxes. We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, and he says a reverse mortgage may be the answer.
Many seniors cannot afford to stay in the home they love. A reverse mortgage gives them access to equity in their home without having to sell. They can pay off their mortgage if they have one and maybe pull some extra cash out of their home. And best of all, they have no mortgage payment the rest of their life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Our first Mark Challenge victory is Aaron McCoy from McCoy Home Solutions, yet another small business owner that took the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Aaron, why did you make the call to First Mark Insurance?
My company has grown to a space where we need a higher level of coverage. A couple of factors led me to say, boy, I really need to find something new. And First Mark really rang that bell.
First Mark save you and your business money?
Oh, yeah. They have decreased overall expense in a couple categories by up to 30%, coverage in a couple of areas by greater than 50%. They've offered coverage in 2 new categories that I think are pertinent for my business, and they've greatly impacted what that coverage and those margins look like.
Kind of wish you made the call earlier.
I absolutely do. Yeah.
So if you're a small business owner that wants to take the stress of insurance off your plate, do what Aaron McCoy did for McCoy Home Solutions. Make the call to First Mark Insurance. They're your teammate that goes to work for you. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic is your best plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. Dr. Mixon, let me ask you a question. How long have some of your patients been working with you?
And we've got patients now that have been with us for over 20 years that are in their 90s, who came to us in their 60s. The grandparents now in their 90s are living independently. They're not on walkers, they're not on canes, they're not headed for nursing homes.
I meet people and they ask about, wow, you're in great shape. You have 12% body fat and stuff. What's the secret? I said, it's not a secret. Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years. There is no secret to the fact that if you make those small changes, you avoid the big, bad, horrible stuff that most of us just think, well, this is what's supposed to happen to me.
And if you're heading downhill and you don't change your direction, you're going to continue going downhill. And what we do at Longevity is we redirect you and we take you back up the hill.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast, fast water heater.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Oh, it's Gee and Ursula, everybody. I just can't wait. The sun is shining. I'm headed home. I'm be out in the yard. I can't wait.
I love it.
I can't wait.
I love it. You didn't have a chance to spend much time at home because you were in Boston.
Right.
And you haven't had a chance to actually talk about Boston. Overall impression. Would you want to live there?
No. Hey, do you think traffic gets bad here in Seattle?
Of course.
Multiply by 4.
Oof.
That traffic in Boston is real. It's real.
And also housing prices. You think housing prices are high here? They're really high.
They're number 6 in the country.
Yes. Ouch.
Cool people. It was great. But for about an hour and a half after Baby G on Saturday night, we sat in a barbecue place and we talked about yard stuff.
Gardening. I love it.
All right, what you got?
Okay, so we talked about President Trump getting potentially a $400 million jet from Qatar. 206 says, what you didn't mention is that the plane will be, quote unquote, donated to the Trump Library just before he leaves office. Bribe, graft, con.
425 says, didn't Senator Bob Menendez just get sentenced to 11 years in prison for bribery?
360 says, never mind the ethical and constitutional aspects of the plane offer from Qatar. Why are you not even mentioning the likelihood of high-tech spying software that would likely be installed on such a plane?
901 says, Trump will always be corrupt. I don't care about him borrowing a plane. I care more about him signing an executive order to log 59% of national parks. Can you imagine 59% of the trees on Rainier gone?
On superhero movies, where Gee made one of his sweeping statements about people who watch them, men in their 40s who watch them. I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Tim in Burlington says, I just watched the new superhero movie Thunderbolts. It was total infantilizing of humanity. Even worse, they were all emotionally immature people, and it was to glorify their defects of character while they were fighting crime and blowing things up. Absolutely stupid. I love how Chef made sure that was included in the text message.
What? You made a good point.
Made your point. Okay.
Okay, I need to ask this. Ursula, how many because Carlin Wilkinson and Wilkinson says the Fast and Furious movies are the worst. Ursula, how many Fast and Furious movies have you seen?
0. I'm the last person to ask about superhero movies too. I watched Superman. I mean, did I love Christopher Reeve? Yes. Yeah. So exactly.
That's me too.
Because there was also, it was kind of rom-com.
But that was
too.
in the 80s.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. So I love those kinds of things. I don't judge someone who goes to them.
Oh.
Okay, but Brenton Belfair says it right. If you want to see superheroes, go visit your local food bank. True that.
Ooh, that's good. 56% of people would give up some of their life to extend the life of their pet. Our good buddy Mike in Portland says, my dog would trade me in for rotisserie chicken. There's no way I'm giving him any of my life. Mike!
And there were so many people who weighed in on that. I mean, that might have been one of the biggest topics, right?
Yeah.
Yep. On fractional home sales, Eric says, this fractional real estate is going to be the next big thing. I've been a real estate investor for 30 years now, and I find it fascinating. It has already started. I'm also in crypto, and you can already digitize a home and sell and buy fractions of that. So it's too complicated to explain in a short text, but it already exists, and I think it's going to be the norm in the next 5 years.
206 says, don't buy a house with friends. I did, and they wouldn't buy me out or sell after 5 years. Had to quit paying mortgage and file for bankruptcy.
On the artificial intelligence topic, Tara in Mill Creek. Okay, actually, I want to read. Vicky from Woodinville says, colleges are running papers through something to determine if AI was used to write any portion, even the outline for the paper. Students are told they cannot use AI at all or they will be expelled. I'm a college advisor. I had a student expelled last summer for using an AI-generated outline.
Oh, wow. All right, Ursula. Time for your good old words to live by.
And we had a lot of stories about and topics about what would you do if you had a short amount of time left on Earth, right? And so I like this quote. Tomorrow is not promised. So live for today. Keep the promises that you make. Take action on the things you desire and need. Make those calls that you've been telling yourself that you're going to do tomorrow. Let the small you-know-what go. Don't go to bed angry. We're all going to be gone one day, so learn to live each day with the promise to yourself that it is going to be better than yesterday. So my simple wish for all of you is that you make today better than yesterday.
Was
and
that
yesterday was pretty
relationship
spectacular. Yes.
Let the small one go.
I want to be real quick.
Yes.
I want to, before I get to you, Nick, I got to be clear. I am not necessarily gardening, more landscape, yard work. The gardening, but I do need some gloves and I do need some knee pads. I need knee pads, boss. All right, Nick, what do you got?
Landscaping just sounds more manly. I get it. Well, the talks keep building up for the AI taking over work, showing only simple features while the stronger powers lurk. So I double-checked those Mother's Day cards written yesterday, just in case it seems too good for kids to write in that perfect way.
There must be some reason understanding.
And of course, they're way more critical of what you write for them while taking years off life for their pet cat they call a gem. Maybe the Oregonian sailor, I'll make an exception, but I think anything else is ridiculous.
Good stuff, Nick.
Just really wrapped it all up.
Yeah. Way to wrap it up. Nick, did you say what you would do if would you quit your job and all that?
I think, I don't think so. No, I wouldn't quit.
You wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
Tough one.
Did I tell you that Nick's going to be doing music for my
Yeah, your
party?
birthday's coming up in August. Yeah.
Oh,
we're going to be having a party.
Nick
I'm
is
gonna
in
be
charge of
running
the
the show.
music?
He
Oh,
just
yeah.
informed me that he has even lights.
Oh, we're
So
going to
we have-
have the whole shindig.
What? Nick, have you been getting into that more and more?
A little bit, yeah. I got a buddy, we do a little more of that. But when I have the time, I try and find those gigs.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, gotta go. Thanks, Ursula. Good show. Chef, good show. By the way, Chef, nice hat today.
Oh, thanks, man.
But I noticed you don't get compliments on any other hat except your Seattle Mariner hat that you
That's
have.
right.
That's the
Special
one that
one.
people text in on.
But now you have a Kingdom one. Is that what it says? Kingdom?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. Nick, thank you.
You too.
Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Stick around. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Since then I've been running around trying to find you. I went to the places that we all.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Riereka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest Fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund returning 9% has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or